Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the African Elite League. My name is Crown, and I am accompanied here by the one and only Act Fire as we're about to get things started in the African Elite League Season 1 Grand Finals. How are you doing today, Fire?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm getting ready for what is going to be an amazing day today. Yesterday was absolutely crazy. Man, you should have been there yesterday. It was fire from every single team. Teams like, Three Crowns, teams like, Slime for KT, Titans, all the boys were absolutely amazing. So let's see if they continue that same fire today.
Amazing content is what we signed up for when we said we wanted to be in the African Elite League, and I'm pretty sure many of these teams have been able to bring it forward. I looked at our top 16 teams that came in, and I'm like, that is actually, a crazy set of teams that we've got going on here, and it kind of just gets me, on the edge of my seat a little bit to see what is going on. But before we start to dive into the details, let us see what exactly these players are fighting for as we go on to show you the price distribution of the money that these guys are fighting for. And I keep looking at that price pool, right? 3,700, and I'm like, fire, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money right there, and that's exactly what the entire teams are fighting for. You have 1,000 in first place, second place taking home that 650, and third place taking home that 320. The fourth place taking 214, all the way down to the 14 to 20 to the 22nd position. Still get something as they go home with 50. At least they still get a piece of that pie.
Right now, I'm just looking for my way into one of these teams. Maybe they might just show me the way. But anyway, speaking about the way that takes you up the top of the leaderboard will be the points distribution, which is getting as many points as possible. And like we said, it almost looks normal going from that top one. But man, when you get to 8th place, you see that from 8th place to 12th place, you get about 1 point for yourself. 1 kill equals 1 point as normal. But still, you just still got to say that, when it comes to like placement points, surviving for placement points, once you're able to get enough elims and you make it into 12th place, at least 1 point is secured for you. And I think that does change things a lot, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely do think so. The kill points matter a lot to these teams, and what we saw yesterday was it wasn't just about placing high. It was about getting those kills early on. We saw several different teams make sure that they were getting into the action early. The boys like Titans, Three Crowns, they were getting above 10 kills and still taking home that winner with a chicken dinner. Same thing for Slime for KT. They didn't get any chicken dinner, but they kept being in that top 3. They kept getting the kills. They kept getting into the action, and that's what's kept them in that top 3 spot today. And they might even boost themselves all the way into that first spot. We'll see how it goes today.
Exactly. And speaking of how things goes today, we'll be bringing you guys the map schedule to show you just how things will be running through for the whole of today. We're starting things off out there in Erangel, heading over to the sandy dunes of Miramar, going straight to Sanhok afterwards. And Erangel is what we're going to be seeing next after that. And I was also saying, I can't see that leaderboard, because the overall rankings is what really matters, man. I did get the gist that, Three Crown Esports were able to get a back-to-back winner chicken dinner yesterday, on the maps of, I think, Miramar and Sanhok. And man, these are things that I'm not even used to hearing, right? So I'm like, wait, what do you mean Three Crown Esports was on fire? Wow, they're a good team, I know them, but I didn't even think, anyone would be able to pull off a back-to-back, especially even on the first day of the, of the African Elite League Finals.
They were a very outstanding team yesterday. For a lot of people who don't know them, they used to be known as Team Lag, but now go by Three Crowns Esports, and they were superb. We know them to be a very good team. We've seen them in several competitions, across Africa, such as I'm probably not going to mention the name, but we know them to be a solid team. But the performance that they put up yesterday just shown that they've increased like a few steps up. They've upped the game. If they will continue that today, that's still left to be seen. But that was a really, really great show, Crowns. I wish you were there to see that, because he just kept us like I still can't believe it, because at some point I was like, okay, they're gonna mess up now, but they didn't, and they just kept pushing.
I mean, they are one of those teams that on the first, I think they qualified on like the third phase or something. But they're one of those teams that showed us that they had what it takes to actually be on top of those leaderboards. Always seeing them being in that top 3, top 4 situation. That is something that we love to see. And seeing them going into like the African Elite League finale, starting off on a strong foot with 3 Crown Esports. Seeing them, it's actually very nice to see. 1 Million Esports following, Slime 4KT following to Team Myth, a team that I'm actually surprised to see on this part of the leaderboard. And I'm saying this because of how much they kind of struggled in the last phase before trying to get into into this point, into the finale, and it's just so nice to see a couple of surprising things all across the board. But I think one of the things that strikes me as a surprise is that position coming through from Team Myth.
Yeah, definitely. All of these teams deserve to be here, and they do deserve to be in that top spot. Several different teams, like you see from Team E, they got themselves 15 kills. That's a whole lot, but they tried to keep putting themselves in those great positions. Slime 4KT as well. They didn't get as much placement points as the rest of the other guys, but you can see that they kept it up with the amount of kills that they got. And 1 Million boys, of course, along the way, keeping an eye on 3 Crowns. They're just 10 points behind. Well, the 3 Crowns boys were the guys that were totally annihilating the lobby yesterday, as they got themselves those 48 points and 30 kills, man. Ooh, man, how we good?
It's interesting to see these numbers. Blackjack Esports, seeing them on the top of the leaderboard, nice to see. 1 million, 1 round. Titan Gaming in 8th place. I know they're not happy with their position on that board, and I'm pretty sure they're looking forward to, rising up. On the other side of the leaderboards, I'm seeing the likes of iMEGA Esports on that part, Desert Flame, Mad Knight, Soul Esports. These are all teams that I would expect to be seen on the bottom of the leaderboard. So that being said, if you're in any of these teams, this is the time for you to, step up the game, show us exactly what you're made of, and, get into the action, and show us what we've got. I mean, we're about to get into Erangel. I would see if many of these teams, like Fire said, will be able to keep up their consistency, or if they're probably going to fall off a little bit. Welcome to Erangel.
All right, guys, welcome to another beautiful game, as we're now seeing this map shifting all the way from that southwestern region towards that northeast right there in Stolba, and there's a lot of position for teams to start to begin to rotate to. We saw some teams rotating towards that region around Primox, Pochinki yesterday. We saw some stubborn teams. Cobra had some, early skirmishes going on within that Primox region, so hopefully we'll be seeing more of that today.
Yeah, and it does look like we'll be seeing that. We can see the players there from Cyclone Shield already hopping off the plane out towards that Primosk area. And, Cyclone Shield being one of those teams who I know like they can play with any other part of the map. But when it comes to Primosk area, that is a place they do not joke with, right? And I say that because we've seen Cyclone Shield actually take on the players there from EFX on the finals of the African Elite Championship, right? Which got them in here. And we saw them, take on Rela Insider and, even other teams. EFX that also came towards them in that Primosk area, and I know that's a part of the map they're not willing to give up. So in terms of winning the fight, nice, but ultimately I'm not the biggest of fans of when it comes to early engagements.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes when it comes to people watching, they want to see teams just fight it out early on, go head to head, just take on each other, and that probably is the most.
Yeah, and fighting against each other, that's one of the things that we would always love to see, right? And when it was in the African Elite Championship, we knew people loved to fight against each other, especially for those early placement points and early Q points. But out here in the league, it's not running like that anymore. Anyway, looking towards that map and the zone is out there on that western side of the circle, and this is one of those generic zones that would mostly hope ends around the Gatska area. But I don't want to start off by jinxing these teams. So that being said, I'm gonna leave that talk for where that talk is due. A couple of teams that I've been looking forward to. I did mention the players there from iMEGA Esports, because I was saying that iMEGA Esports actually a team that I would have expected to be on top of the leaderboards. I mean, looking at one of their players, Nagato, we've seen that man show us exactly what we've done. That man always ending up one way or the other on the leaderboard for the MVP. So seeing them on the other side of the leaderboard just kind of makes me put my tag on them, like, what are you guys going to show us today in the finals?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be looking forward to see how they do perform in that one. But Crowns, remember I told you about, there's two teams right here, Team Meat and Cobra are now getting into the action as they have both come into this position right there in Pochinki. You can already see Broly going down as he's being taken down by Fahita, one of the members from Cobra Esports. And these two teams have been absolutely stubborn, and you can see now going in for that finish right there as Team Meat, who is currently sitting down in fourth place on the entire leaderboard, is about to lose one player if they cannot get this revive just in time.
Trade not coming through quite yet as the players there from teammates do lose yet another player down to the last two, and this is where we'll be expecting to see more proactiveness coming through from the side of Black Cobra. Normally I don't even see them being this quiet, but out here in Pochinki they do seem to be taking their time, and you can just tell that Faita is a little bit pinned in the middle of that in the middle of those deeps, but he's there for a reason, able to grab a knock, and the fight is going to continue. One player left for the side of teammates is going to be Farok, and it's a question of can he hold up. Is he going to be able to run away from this fight? Because that does look to be the option in mind. But the push is going to continue as Black Cobra are not willing to let this one go.
All right, so the boys from Black Cobra are looking to annihilate the entire team meet right there. As you can see, Farouk is fighting for their life as it's down to pretty much what is 1 HP right now. And the rest are pushing. And Team Cobra winning this particular one and taking the boys from Myth out of the game quite early on. So Miku sitting down in fourth place, gets taken out quite early. And Cobra looking to do a lot better than they did yesterday. Great job.
And this is quite fascinating. This is something that I've always been saying coming into the league finale. Like we know like all of these teams going in. How do I put it this way? All of these teams have been fighting separately, so it's almost like you don't know who is who, or you don't know who lands where. You might have seen this team land here separately, but when the teams comes together, it becomes a situation of, oh, how are we gonna how are we going to how are we going to land, right? Landing in Pochinki does seem plausible, but you're now landing with the players there from Black Cobra. Black Cobra is a very strong team. They know how to fight and defend their drop spots. So teammates, for the next Erangel, I'll be expecting a different landing spot from you.
All right. So Meath will obviously be trying as much as possible to put up a different spectacle in later on, as they will be looking see if they can land in a better spot in the next.
And that is the hope that we've got in mind. This is still zone 1. We've already lost one team down to 15 players now in the lobby. 15 teams now in the lobby. It's not a question of how well will these guys be able to hold up. That is the question that we've got in mind. I normally would say this, or I usually say this, when it comes to landing in your drop spot, it's not just a matter of landing there and taking a fight. It's also a matter of how well you can leave that situation, and that is exactly what the players there from Cyclone Shield are displaying, as they're able to just get away from Primorsk one after the other. You can just see Manny out there on the outskirts. I think he's got one of his teammates, it's going to be Zero, also out there close to him. So the sports also having another player out there on that flank angle. So the fight is about to break down out here in Primorsk, as we do see flank angles already coming in through. Cyclone Shield looking to be the aggressors on this fight. As you can see, shots coming in through, but the aggression is going to fail them, as Roach is going to be the first man to touch ground. Down he goes, the instant thirst to follow up, and Cyclone Shield, here comes the part where they have to pick their fights. They're getting pushed by a solo player Wise, and it's a question of how do they want to handle it. Zero and Roach, two men who we've seen in action. We've seen them go absolutely crazy when they are together. It's not a question of can they do that again, but Roach is dead. Manny is the one who's out here with Zero, and we're kind of questioning, would Manny and Zero be able to hold up against this solo player Wise who's about to push them? I believe Wise one of the IGLs of that team, so if I'm not mistaken.
All right, yes, right there. The boys from Seoul and the boys from CLS looking to figure out who is going to be dominating this particular spot right here, as the boys from CLS putting up a good performance against them yesterday, being a lot better. You should have seen that Crowns yesterday. They got into a very, very good position in the final circle, but managed to lose it to the boys from 1 million. And right now you can see them still battling it out right here, as the boys from Seoul Twixrat is pushing up onto Isaac, and as you can see, he tagged him up.
No way.
There, and that will be the end of the boys from CLS in this particular game. Lovely stuff coming in from Seoul, as they have not lost any player in that particular one.
I feel like that was just too chaotic, especially on the side there of Team Soul. Oh, sorry, from of Cyclone Shield, because Zero and Manny, they did hear that vehicle pull up. It's a buggy pulling up on you. You know you're expecting at least one player or at most two players on that buggy, right? It's a 2v2. You could take that, right? And then seeing them not paying attention to that solo guy. It's sad to see, right? That is a fight they could have won, and the instant Zero got taken out, and also Manny also got taken out on the top of that hill. You could just see that panic coming through from Isaac, just running out in the open like he did not have people. So I'm like, it's sad to see, that is not what I would have expected from the team.
Yeah, great stuff coming in from all these guys. But CLS not performing quite as well as expected, as we saw them get themselves into great positions yesterday. They were a bit more careful, aggressive when they need to be, and it just happens. These things happen. Soul is a very great team, Crowns, and sometimes when you're fighting and taking on those early fights, sometimes to pay today stubborn. You understand? I mean, the best way to say that is in pidgin. English failed me there.
Man, I can tell you one thing for sure, right? I back you up 100% on that statement, because Soul Esports, we've seen them, right? The one day or the time they came in for their phase, when they were to come in for the phases when we were playing, getting into the finals, we saw them bag about 12 kills in about 10 minutes, and that's just 10 minutes of the game. They already had 12 kills. They handled 3 teams that landed close to them, tried to third party. So seeing them landing pretty much with the side of Cyclone Shield, I get that they're a very strong team, but I'm still saying for the side of Cyclone Shield that at least put up a good fight, right? I mean, look at White's actually handling 2 players out there on the top of that hill. That's not a good thing. You don't want to have that on your resume now, do you?
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday I was watching the boys from Slam for KT, and they're a very good team, amazing team. But I feel like they're still missing Pronto. I feel like there's something about their game when it comes to finishing off that they're missing right now. They're a very good team, aggressive, winning up those fights, but it's something that I feel like Pronto brings to the team when it comes to the way he IGLs. But for now, let's focus on this team, iMEGA Crowns.
And iMEGA Esports, a team that I was talking that I wanted to see them do better. Nagato not quite getting that one on check as he does go down 2 nights there. This is a battle of 2 MVP materials, and Matador, one way or the other, the last player left for the side there of iMEGA Esports. This is definitely not what they expected. Nagato does get flushed, and now we see the mollies coming in through. One round Esports don't sleep on pushes like this. They know exactly what they need to do. Escano, one of their strong players, out, but you can already see the grenades coming in through. iMEGA Esports able to get at least 1 revive, but it's not gonna be paying off too well, as smokes, grenades, all sorts of throwables coming towards their direction.
Man, what a tough time for the boys from iMEGA as they're trying as much as possible to hold on to their life in this particular one. They've been able to get 1 revive, but now it's left to Defu to find a way to hold back this team right here, as it is a 2v3 situation, and the boys from one round are continuously trying as much as possible to push onto this particular location. Metador and the rest of the boys are trying as much as possible to pop those names, throwing the mollies, as 1 round is not holding back. They keep on making that push over and over again, and what a time. He stays in the vehicle, but Metador gets knocked out, man. My goodness, Crown.
And it's only a matter of time before they find that last player, but the Devil is able to do something. Devil is down to 10 HP, but is not able to hold it up in the 1v3 situation against One Round Esports, as Eflex is going to be the man to clutch that thing up. But in the background, we did see Titan Gaming getting started with the side of 21st Century. 21st Century is getting that intro knock, but unfortunately not quite able to follow suit as they lose Agathe and Sixbed in that engagement with the side there of Titan Gaming.
Man, what a fight. I thought for a minute that, iMEGA was going to pull a comeback in that particular one and get that 1v3. He got that first knock, he got that second one. And I just kept telling myself, like, where were you when your teammate needed you? Well, somehow, he got taken out right there. He'll obviously be watching this and kicking himself and, asking what they could have done better in that particular fight. But kudos to the boys from one round as they've gotten themselves 4 kills in this particular one. They lost 1 player in that fight, and they'll be looking to see if they can now rotate into that zone around that region on the southwest west. But look at the amount of teams that we still have so far. We still got about 13 teams heading towards that zone.
And this is where it starts to get crazy. This is zone 4, ladies and gentlemen, and things are already getting as choked up as possible. And with zones like this and this many players alive, it's inevitable to not fight, right? And I mean, it's inevitable to fight, not fight, whatever. Anyway, we just see shots coming in through from the side of Black Cobra as they begin to take shots at the reigning champions of the lobby. It's going to be 3 Crown Esports, but it does look like 3 Crown getting that memo, not wanting that early engagement, at least not yet. But that southern zone is going to prove to be a whole pain for all of these teams.
And what a day, as all these teams are trying as much as possible to hold a great spot within that zone, but it is so difficult for them. The boys from Slam 4K here are already picking their spot. The boys from 3C are looking for that region in between Ferry Pier and Primox, and everyone is finding it really hard to pick a spot so far, and we're going to be seeing a couple of fights happening pretty soon. But let's take a look and see how things are going to currently build up. We still got about 13 teams in this one. The boys from Titans holding a position not too far away from 1 Million boys, who haven't gotten any kills in this particular game. That's very strange. You usually would see the 1 Million boys going around fighting team up on team, but maybe they have a different strategy for today, the grounds.
I think it's not just that time, right? Because I mean the only reason why we've seen this much is because those early engagements going into the game, right? And now seeing that this is the query type of circle, it's not the best of circles, it's not the most playable of circles. There's not too many positions to hold. That's where it starts to become a problem, right? So 1 Million Esports still deciding to be a little bit quiet. We do see one round taking a couple of shots or actually getting one of their players, but it's like I said, you see, it's not faced them yet because they're currently hanging on that northwestern edge of the circle, and they know that this is the time to just wait to see exactly what that circle does before they begin to pounce on the lobby.
Yeah, definitely. You can see them trying as much as possible to get that revenge. Venom sending on shots onto the boys from one round as they're trying to rotate into that zone right here, trying to look for a better spot. And that's exactly what everyone is trying to do right now. The zone's about to shift in a couple of seconds. So it's going to be quite some time. We also see on the map, the boys from Apex, not too far away from the boys from Slime 4KT, but in the meantime, we'll turn our sights onto the boys from 3 Crowns, who are almost, getting tagged up right there. They have one player who's been knocked down, but they've gotten that revive, and it's a tough time for everyone. They're all getting tested right now, and it's all down to who can keep their shape up and move into the next zone.
Man, another zone shift going over to that eastern side of the map, and this is where it starts to become a problem. It's all in the beach of the ferry pier, and this is where the problem comes through. Everybody in Primosk, everyone that was outside in the outskirts, everybody on the north, they now have to move. 3 Crown Esports currently being the Black Cobra of the lobby, as they are the zone magnets right now. But Blackjack have to deal with the visitors that they're receiving. Their unfriendly neighbors. There's going to be Afro Esports.
Man, what a time for all these teams, as the boys of Afro Esports are looking to push up onto this particular location. But you can see Krona just pulling up onto that location where the boys from Seoul are at, and now beginning to take on the shots. But the boys from Seoul are pretty much spaced out, so he's got to be really careful on who he sends his shots to. He turns his sights onto Twix, he reduces his HP pretty much down to 1 HP, and now he does get that knock. But now looking to see if he can get that finish onto Twix right there, and whoo, he's going for it. He's trying as much as possible to test them. He's alone in this particular region. It does look like MJ has been taking down Crowns, and my goodness, what a time for this team. Is he going to stay there and try to take out the rest of the players, or will he just be leaving? But it looks like they found him and they've taken him down.
Oh, we can actually see the players there from Soul Esports doing exactly what you'd have expected, Blackjack Esports to do, right? Blackjack Esports sleeping on that, on that fight, got the intro knock, but they spent so much time trying to get that thirst that he did not focus on his teammates who was getting pushed by 2. And third party after third party is something the players there from Soul Esports are a little bit used to, as we can see them handling that third party from Afro Esports quite well. They're able to initiate a trade a minute on the clock, and these teams have to finish this fight as soon as possible. But there's so many teams coming to this direction. A lot of chaos going on that on that western edge of the circle.
Man, Crowns, just take a look at this. While the boys from Seoul were feeling the heat from every single corner, trying to rotate into the zone themselves. Now you have the boys from Slam 4KT just pulling up. Slam 4KT has lost one player, they've lost Fex, but they're still trying as much as possible to rotate and find a good spot within that zone. Storm's vehicle is pretty much smoking right now as he just decide, hey, you know what, I'm just going to come out of this vehicle right now, try and, just keep myself in this game. He's spaced out away from his teammates, and it's not looking really, really good for a lot of these guys. We still got a whole bunch of teams within this small, really tiny space. The boys from 3C are not too far away from Plaza, and it's a really tough time for all these guys.
And this is what I was saying about that zone, right? Being out there on that, on the shoreline of the ferry pier, it's not the most comfortable of zones. It's still got about 30% of water, not so much land to play by. As Team Apex now receiving grenades, Koa doesn't miss those. He never misses a grenade. And man, it just makes me wonder, Koa, how could you throw so many nades? I feel like that dude's grenade accuracy is just through the roof. But speaking of accuracy, Eflex is one of those players who's able to do that too. As players there from Cyclone Esports, looking like there's a whole lot of action coming towards their direction. Wanted comes in, tries to get the run over, not quite able to get it. The drop shot will take him down, but Eflex, he doesn't have too much to deal with. Weiss is very elite on HP, and he would eventually go down as Eflex, this man coming in clutch for his team one more time, as they would eventually get taken out with 10 eliminations. But 8th place, 10 eliminations, not too bad, no? Anyway, action does look to continue out here on that western edge of the circle. Slime 4KT caught outside the zone. Same thing can be said about the side of 3 Crown Esports, but it does look like 3 Crown Esports have that memo. Smoke's coming out from their direction, and they might just be able to go on for this push onto Slime. 25 seconds on the clock, so they have to make things snappy.
The boys from 3 Crowns looking to continue with their lovely gameplay they had yesterday and sending on them nades onto that position where the boys from Slam 4KT are at, looking to take them out of the game. Most of the time when you know that a team is in your front, they've already been done some damage. Why not push onto them? Why not try as much as possible to take out what could be one of your rivals in that final circle? And that's exactly what the boys from 3 Crowns are looking to do in this particular one. They're sending on the molly, sending on the nades, trying as much as possible to take them out of the game right here. And just take a look at that. Boom, the nades and the mollies do take out Plaza and Koa in that position.
I mean, it's an amazing show of, flexibility coming through from the side of 3 Crown Esports. Sending in those nades, sending in those mollies, realizing what they're doing. But little did they know about the snakes, the sharks in the water. The side of 1 million, they've got 2 players out there in the water, and this is where things may start to get, a little bit unpredictable for the side of 3 Crown Esports. But, we were saying it, they just needed to clear Slime 4KT in order to get into the zone, and that is exactly what they've done. Now they're already trying to pinch in further into that zone from that western edge.
And lovely stuff going on at every single corner. You can see one of the players right there from Desert Flame getting knocked down and taken down by the boys from Cobra. They're trying as much as possible to go through that finish, and look at how choked they are in this particular position. I feel like just one nade here and boom, they're all done. Wouldn't that be something? Getting 4 kills by just throwing the nade into this position right there. So you can see Slam 4KT getting eliminated in 8th place right there, and it is super, super tough. The boys from 21 are still in this game. Mad Nice is still in it. Titans have still got a full squad, as well as the boys from Cobra, who are really choked at this particular spot they are.
I think Black Cobra right now are just hoping that, they continue to get the zone's blessing, because there's only so much they can do from that position, right? And I feel like this is the point where, if I'm a player there from Desert Flame Esports, I'm probably going to be challenging my odds, trying to launch those grenades onto that shark there from Black Cobra. But at the same time, it's not something that is really doable, because, these players actually, they're also fending off from that third party coming through from the side of Titan Gaming from the top of the hill.
And incredible stuff coming in from all these teams, but Nero from 21 trying as much as possible to help his team climb up in this particular one, as they got taken out in 7th place right there, and 21 doing a lot better than they did yesterday. Struggling, they were amongst one of the teams that were in that bottom position, but they'll be looking to see if they can climb up today. You can see that those nades coming in over and over again towards that position where the boys from Cobra are at, and the boys from Titan Gaming know that all it's going to take is just one nade, into that place, one molly, and they could get themselves 4 kills. We still got about 60 teams in this particular one. We'll be looking to see who actually does get that winner chicken dinner. So leave your comments right there. Who you think is going to be amongst these teams quite quickly and see if you get it right. But take a note on this. We still got the boys from 3C with a full squad in this one, Crowns.
This is just quite impressive to see there from the side of Crown Esports, able to protect the all man up, infiltrating from that western edge, able to clear their backs. That is just nice things that we love to see. But Titan Gaming, I am impressed with this push that they decided to go for, and it will be very nice if they're able to pull through with it. But it does look like that defense coming through from the side there of Black Cobra is interesting. Crown Esports with the third party of the century swiping away those eliminations, as Black Cobra now left with their last 3 members to hold things on till the end of the game.
Man, what a time for all these guys, as it is looking quite crazy. Like you can't really call it at this point in time, Crowns. Like, is it going to be Desert Flames? Is it going to be the boys from Titans or 3C? 3C is looking quite strong, by the way. They still got themselves a whole lot of numbers so far. I'm not sure if they have 4. All 3 players still alive, but Titans are looking great. They're one of the big boys right here in this competition. The boys from Desert Flame are trying as much as possible to pull their weight, but Flacco gets taken down. But other teams are not looking by. As you can see, the boys from 3 Crowns getting a knock right there until one of the players from Titans, as Puncher, does rock the crowd himself. It is like shots on shots at every single corner. Remember, the still the boys from 1 million. You got Lazy Boy still lurking around. They still got 3 players in this particular one. We got 5 teams, and it is crazy at every single corner, Crowns. Who will win this game?
Well, definitely not Desert Flame, as Klasa does eventually grenade himself and his teammates back into the lobby. Black Cobra does look to be drawing closer to the players there from 3 Crown Esports, and I'm enjoying 3 Crown Esports deciding to stay a little bit quiet. Right now, the people that are on that shoreline, Million Esports, have the most advantage in this game. They can pretty much spoil the game for everybody. But anyway, Hamodi getting closer and closer with those grenades. Shots coming through from 1 Million Esports, as Marshall is going to be the one to find Fantasy out there in the grass. And this is what I was saying about 1 Million Esports. Here comes the push. Marshall going the S12K in that range, not quite working too effectively, as it would eventually get dropped by Cacao.
Man, 3 crowns today, playing like they are on drugs. Just making sure that they're taking on every single thing that is in their sides. You got the boys from 1 million, they're now down to 1 player, down to Venom, but they're not holding back. He still gets a knock onto one of the players from Cobra, and I've got to say, the Cobra has been impressive today. They've gotten themselves, into great fights. They've gotten those extra kills, but you can now see the 1-9 is going in for that revive onto his player Cacao there, and if you can get him back up, they will stand a better chance towards finishing this game as a whole. Venom, the last player for 1 million, is getting tagged up, and look at that.
Fantasy not quite able to get those shots to connect, but it's only a matter of one more bullet and Venom would be uprooted from that grass. Venom having no source of cover, but 1-9 is going to piggyback off that information supplied by his teammates, but it's going to look like Fantasy with a quick pick would be able to get things done. It is looking like a winner chicken dinner with 11 eliminations for the side there of 3 Crown Esports. They have continued on that consistency, and they are here to show everybody that they know how to play on all of this game.
Man,
they know how to play this game.
Man, at the end of the day, we got a situation where we got a 2v3, and the boys from 3 Crowns are still looking quite great. They've taken on the fights. They've gotten themselves 10 kills. They're coming against a team Cobra. They've got a 1 knock onto them right now. Cacao now has only the boy Fajita to take care of. He throws in that nade towards his position. Obviously, it's going to do some damage, but it doesn't connect for now, as they are still trying as much as possible to push in and get that victory at the end of the day. Lovely, amazing stuff coming in from the boys from 3 Crowns. Once again, champions, or should I say, leaders on the leaderboard, getting another winner chicken dinner.
I mean, 3 Crown Esports, 11 elimination points, backing that up with a winner chicken dinner. What more could you ask for? Matter of fact, 12 elimination points. Wow. Man, these guys were just absolutely on fire, right? And I'm saying this because of the decision making, right? Going in from that west seemed to be like a very plausible option. And why I would say that is because, we saw the likes of 1 million try to go in from the west. Slime 4KT also tried to go in from the west. 3 Crown Esports tried to go in from the west. These are not just any teams. These are teams that if they're trying to go in from the west, there is a reason why they're trying to infiltrate from that western side of the circle. And this was just impressive to see from 3 Crown Esports, handling the fights, taking time, or looking at the time, knowing exactly what to do next. That is one thing that we enjoy to see from 3 Crown Esports, and that just goes to show why they're on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, definitely. They took on their fights against several different teams. You saw that push onto the boys from Slime for KT. They made sure that they sent in the mollies. Their use of, the mollies were absolutely outstanding. They didn't stop there. They took a couple of players from the boys from 1 million, and they were taking out not just anybody, but the big boys, the boys who were on that first page, like 1 million, like Slime for KT. They were taking them out of the game, and that's exactly what you should be doing if you're looking to sit down in that number one spot.
Exactly, and they will be retaining that number one spot with that wonderful performance that they have shown in this game. But you cannot just take up the title from all of the other teams, right? We're talking about Titan Gaming and seeing exactly what, Titan Gaming could do, right? Titan Gaming coming in, I believe they finished in 4th place in that game with a couple of elimination, I think 7 to go alongside with it. So it's kind of nice to see that, all of these teams are already putting up the numbers on the board. A couple of teams falling short, teammate Cyclone Shield going out early in that game. But, I still feel like there's still 3 more games to go on, so they can still be able to find the redemption. But right now it does look like we are on the 3 crown train.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. We'll be taking a look at the leaderboard in a bit, but my goodness, what a time for all of these teams. Who do you think is going to be our MVP crowd?
I mean, the MVP has to be somebody there from 3 Crown Esports. Matter of fact, I think I'll put my money on Cacao, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that dude, I did see his name on the kill feed, especially when he was taking off those eliminations from the side there of Black Cobra and Titan Gaming. So yeah, I think my MVP should be Cacao. So it's only a matter of time we'll be seeing that MVP on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be seeing it in just a bit as we'll be looking at our MVP right now. Just like you predicted and said, it is a boy Cacao getting himself 7 kills. Take us through these crowds.
Man, like I said, he was actually on that leaderboard, on the Q message or Q feed a lot. 854 damage to go alongside with it. It wasn't just getting knocks, right? It was also stealing kills. Because I did see that a lot, especially in that fight coming in from, Titan Gaming up against the side of Black Cobra. Him just doing the damage with that DP28 was absolutely on fire. Monstrous stuff coming through from Cacao himself. That man is a machine, and he has showed us exactly what he is capable of doing. Most valuable team definitely still has to go on to the side there of 3 Crown Esports. I feel like most valuable team will most likely should have gone to Sony Sports provided it survived. But they did not survive for that long, but they did get 10 elimination points. So I think most valuable team should probably be the players there. The team there, 3 Crown Esports actually. Who would you call for your most valuable team?
I mean, it's definitely 3 Crowns Esports, but next to them is obviously Cobra. From the beginning of the game, they were outstanding against taking out the team Myth, and they went on with that same momentum to find themselves in that 2nd spot. So kudos to them. They had 2 players at the end of the day. I didn't see that happening because they didn't have quite a great day yesterday, but they have obviously shown that they want to do a lot better, and that they're fighting for that dominance. They're going to Pochinki. A team that goes to Pochinki wants to fight.
Right, exactly. And it's a question of I'm now looking forward to the final game of the day, right, to see what exactly happens. And well, One Round Esports is the team that will be getting the head-to-head against Black Cobra, and this is something that it's enjoyable to see, especially for Black Cobra, because 2002 damage up on board, 5 assists to go alongside with it with 8 elims. Now that is actually very, very impressive to see, man. Like these are crazy numbers that I'm seeing from these 2 teams, and to think that they went out, One Round Esports went out in 9th place and they're able to do this much elims. That is interesting to see.
Lovely stuff. We saw, of course, a bunch of teams like you've mentioned, get a whole lot of kills. But One Round is always that team, win or lose, whether they get. In fact, they could be the first team eliminated and still get 10 kills. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Just an excellent team, right? Black Cobra also showing us, because we said something about Black Cobra going into the finals here, that they are one of those teams that are magnets of the zone. They know how to get into the zone, and look at that, 12 elimination points coming through from the side of 3 Crown Esports. Not the most of damage in the lobby, but look at Titan Gaming and how much damage they dealt, only to have their kills and their eliminations get stolen by 3 Crown Esports and 1 million out there on the shoreline.
All right, so lovely stuff coming in from them. We'll be seeing the leaderboard soon. as we'll be seeing who is going to be on top. But my money definitely is on the boys from Three Crowns retaining their position as they've finished this game with a winner chicken dinner. But we'll be curious to see how the rest of the table shapes up, as the boys from one round got a whole lot of kills in this particular one, as well as the boys from Cobra. So let's see.
Man, not too much shaking up going on that top side of the leaderboards. I mean, Crown Esports finally breaching that 100-point mark in just 2 days. That just goes to show, this shows that they're averaging. I don't even want to start doing that mathematics, because that is only, 5 games, and they're able to get 105 points. That's almost 20 points per game if you're doing the math.
Yeah.
So, that is actually impressive stuff to see from them. 1 Million Esports retaining their consistency, and so much gap, left from 4th place to below, that even Titans' good game wouldn't even count as much to push them up on the top of that leaderboard, right? We see the top 5 hasn't changed one bit, but we do see Cyclone Shield dropping on the leaderboard, iMEGA Esports further dropping, the Mad Knights dropping, one round dropping. These are not good for all of these teams.
Man, what a day for several different teams, but other teams who are still on the bottom of that leaderboard. The boys from Afro finally getting themselves a couple of points right here. They've gotten 2 points. Yesterday it was sitting down all the way at 0 by the end of the four games. So maybe now that might give them more confidence to go out and try to get those extra points. But teams like 21 Century, Team Apex, they've been struggling. They're a lot better than what the position in the leaderboard is currently, or what the story the leaderboard is currently telling. So hopefully they can perform a lot better than they have right now. We'll see how it goes as we move on to the next game.
We did call out Team Apex, right, coming into the finals. I did say that I've actually seen you guys play well, right, especially on the final phase of the qualifiers, right. We saw them play so well, and they were able to make it into that top 10, I believe top 5 if I'm not mistaken. So seeing them playing this in the finals kind of just makes me feel like, well, I was right for calling them out, because like I said, I told them, regardless of where you finished on this leaderboard, I am still not going to give you guys that breathing space. I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done by that team. So right now, seeing Team Apex down there on the bottom of the leaderboard is not something I'm happy to see. So Team Apex, if you're watching this, be sure to get your foot on, get your head in the game, because nobody is sleeping in the African Elite League. Nobody is allowing that to happen. So as Fire said, we'll be seeing what these teams will be doing in the next coming games. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have to be sending you guys to a break as we get ready and warmed up for the next match of the game. Maybe colder, because Miramar is already warm. But anyway, that being said, we'll be seeing you guys soon for Miramar. So do not go anywhere. Like the stream if you've not, subscribe if you've not, and we'll see you guys in a bit.
Tell me what you wanna do now. Get close to me. Feel the rhythm. Move your body. Tonight. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love you. Tell me what you wanna do now. Get close to me. Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me. Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the African Elite League. My name is Grounds. I'm out here with Act Fire. We have seen craziness in Erangel. I'm about to head into Miramar to continue with the action in the African Elite League Grand Finale.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen some great fights going on in that first game in Erangel. Now we're moving on to a Miramar game where we're about to see teams, maybe start off a bit fast, but things go slow at first, and that's how Miramar does deceive you, because just wait a little bit, you start seeing vehicles getting blown up as they're trying to rotate into the zone, with many teams just hanging around on mountains and several different spots looking for who to take on while other teams are rotating.
The king of the mountain, the king of the city, is the king of the lays of the land, is what we always look out for when it comes to Miramar, as we're about to head into those sandy dunes. This is about to get crazy, not gonna lie, because I'm already expecting a couple of hot drops going into the first game for this first Miramar. I know yesterday everyone may have landed and gotten a little bit of lay of land, but one thing I know about finals of tournament and many of these professional teams is that whenever they get hot drops first time, they never want to agree. They always want to go for a second time to at least try again. So I know I'm looking forward to seeing the second trial coming through from all of these teams. But hopefully I don't get to see so many teams going out early like we did in Erangel.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's take a look at the map shifting all the way from that should I say southeastern region towards that southwest around Chumasera right there and Valdemar. Um, there are a lot of positions around, let's say, Hacienda. Some of the teams are not going to be able to get to, so they're going to go around the regions quite close to them. We might see one or two teams heading towards Picado. I'm predicting the Picado fight. What do you think, Crown?
Nah, I don't know. Mad Knights, they've landed in Picado before. We've seen that happen. Who was the team that actually battled them in Picado? But that team also qualified early. I believe it was no, Black Cobra lands around San Martin. But I think it's Black Cobra that's going to be landing with them in Picado. It's got to be one of those two teams, right? So, but I know that Mad Knight's always in Picado, and I know they like to take that fight with the side of Black Cobra, if I'm not calling those names wrongly, but I know they do always take that fight out there. But anyway, one thing I was looking forward to seeing is where the players there from Afro Esports were going to land, because we already did talk to them, like I've already been saying it, right, about Los Leones, where they would prefer to land normally. And right now we can see a couple of teams out there: iMEGA Esports, Sony Esports, we see Blackjack Esports, all of them out there in Los Leones. Those are not teams that you want to be battling with going on early into the game.
All right, definitely. So we're seeing that zone shifting all the way into that central position with San Martin, Power Grid, Montelenvo, El Pozo still within those regions right there. Some teams are hopping into the vehicle like one round and looking to rotate into several regions to try as much as possible to get themselves some extra loot. So this is how Miramar usually goes. Things start off a bit slow. It gives the teams opportunities to get their loot on, and we might see teams perform a lot better in this one, because they'll be fully ready. Blackjack Esports, one of the teams who grabbed the winner chicken dinner yesterday, but not having quite a great day before they won that final game crowns. I don't know. There's just something about Blackjack Esports we were speaking about yesterday that's a bit different. They're a very good team. They're very aggressive. They got that chicken dinner and showed that yes, they're still in it. But somehow, the thing about Blackjack is they've not been able to put up those performances that we know of them consistently.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them, switch up and change their rosters a couple of times. Probably one of the things that is adding to, the reduction in gameplay. But still, I still look at them as my Blackjack, They're one of those teams that are able to make it into the finals, from, I think, the second phase. So, I'm still going to give them, their accolades. Staying out there in the top 5 is also something I'd enjoy to see. But early pushes already coming in through this 21st century. I was just about to point that out, that I'm actually surprised to see just how well they have been able to find, a landing position out here. But it does look like 1 million are not willing to share the outskirts of Chumasera with anybody. As 6Ben doesn't quite get any of those shots to connect up onto Marshall on the top of the roof, and here comes the push. 6Ben eventually goes down. 1 Million Esports looking to get things started very rightly this time, as Pharaoh, the last player left for the side there of 21st century. Actually, they all out. Oh no.
Yo. We were actually talking about them before the game started, hoping to see them perform a lot better. But coming up against the boys from 1 million quite early in this game is not what they would have expected. They still have, anyways, 2 more games in today's game to try to perform a lot better than they have right here. So we'll see how they do in that one. As we do now, turn our sights onto the boys from Cobra. Cobra, who finished second place in the last game against the boys from Desert Flame. Desert Flame is one of those teams, if you guys do not know, they used to be called G3. All right, they were one of the best teams in Africa at a particular point in time, winning competitions over competitions. But in recent times, they've not been able to replicate those same performances, and they've still kept a large amount of the same team. So, what do you think it is, Crowns? Is it just the level of the gameplay within the African region has improved, or maybe their performances, their confidence has just dropped?
I think it's going to be the latter coming through from from Desert Flame Esports, right? They're a team that I keep a close eye on, right? Still a stand for them, right? And one thing I know is that they would obviously bounce back up, having Flacco. And also, sometimes you also have to tell the teams, or it's also a situation of, the teams trying to find, the last piece of the puzzle, right? They've had a couple of players leave the squad. And, having to find that person that would join that squad and, kind of make things, balanced as we normally would be is not the easiest of tasks to do, right? So, having to find that last piece of the puzzle. I mean, you mentioned something about Slime with Pronto, and now I think it's going to be the same thing for Desert Flame Esports. But I believe that once they're able to find, that final piece of the puzzle, I think they're going to be good and golden.
Yeah, definitely. It is what it is. We'll see how that one goes down. But looking at this particular fight right here, you have the boys from Cobra who've lost one player already. I'm not sure if they lost that player to the boys from Desert Flame. But who do you think is going to win that skirmish between the two of them?
I feel like both teams, being who they are, they would leave. I've seen them take that fight before out there, but I just feel like at this point, I did point it out. When you're landing in a drop location, it's not just a matter of being there. It's a matter of knowing how to leave also. But anyway, it does look like a car chase coming through from the side of Team Apex onto A9Q. Continue the chase. It's just one dude. It's just one dude. No. No way. No way they did not continue on that car chase, but I believe it was because of Fantasy's wonderful cover fire coming in from the background, which is nice to see. So, players there from Team Apex, maybe they just escaped down with a little bit, but right now, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely what it is. The boys from 3 Crowns who have been quite impressive in the game so far with their gun skills, taking on fights, being absolutely brave. What is that thing you feel like is different from 3 Crowns? I will give you mine, but I want to hear your own point so far first.
I just feel like it's just the research being done, right, by this team, right? 3 Crown Esports, a team that, like I said, it's we saw them when they started in the AEL, right? They were struggling to be trying to adapt to those teams. But, going into the next phase, they were absolutely on fire, man. They made it into the finals straight up. So I'm like, I'm not right now. This performance that I'm seeing for them is expected performance from them, because I keep saying it, regardless of how well you do or regardless of how well you're doing, go back to the drawing board, allow yourself, work with your team, try to improve, look at how these teams move, and use that to your advantage. I mean, you can already see them pulling off great rotations coming into the game, knowing where to go, how to go, when to go. These are the questions that many of these teams need to answer. So I believe that is what is different from the side of 3 Crowns. But I mean, of which I wouldn't even count so different, because like I said, this is a performance that I've been seeing from them even before we got into the grand finals.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely spot on. Even aside from this tournament, they've always been performing, at this level in several different competitions, and they're well known to have consistent performances. The one thing about them in many tournaments that I've seen is they usually tend to fall off in those final days. Hopefully that doesn't happen to them right here. They can continue with this consistency and not get brushed off by other boys like 1 million, like the Slam 4KTs and the rest. But we'll see how that goes for them. For me, what I just see is different for them in the, so far in this past few days, is that they're a lot braver than they've been in recent times. They're taking on the tough fights. They're going up against the boys like Slime. They're going up against 1 million. They're going up against 1 round. They're going up against the guys that should be winning and taking them out quite early on.
And it does look like Cyclone Shield will be getting the Miramar lock continuing in the finals of the African Elite League, as we see that zone looking to be moving up to that northwestern side of the circle. And we all know when we talk about northwest, we're talking about El Pozo. And when we're talking about El Pozo, we're talking about Cyclone Shield, as we see them looking comfortably almost to the center of the circle.
Yeah, definitely. Team Apex looking to now perform a lot better than they have in previous games when Machine and his boys tried as much as possible to get into those regions around Picado. We'll be curious to see how they do perform in this one, if they can, get things rolling and boost themselves up on that leaderboard from that page towards that first. But we also see right there on the kill feed, the boys from Desert Flame coming up against Team Meat in the previous game, who had gotten taken out of the game quite early against the boys from Cobra, looking to see if they can do a lot better in this particular one. And Crowns, you could already see them going in for that thirst right there against Building. And my goodness, what a time for the boys from Desert Flame. Both of these teams need to perform.
Speaking of Desert Flame, right? I believe that this happened in an attempt to actually get more angles on the guys there from Black Cobra Esports, which will not work. Like I said, it's not just about making it into, or landing and defending your drop spot, right? It's also about knowing when to leave, how to leave your drop spot. And like I said, I was expecting that both teams would leave Black Cobra well out of the vicinity, but we still have the players there from Desert Flame still chilling in there trying to find a flank on who is not fighting them. But iMEGA Esports finding themselves in early skirmishes again. This time it's going to be against the side there of Mad Knight, and they've lost 2 players early on. Engagement is going to continue as Axfire has not realized that his microphone is muted. But anyway, Desert Flame do lose one more player in that engagement as they're down to Klasa and Flacco.
I was just talking away while my mic was muted. All right, so Klasa sending on the shots right there onto the boys from Team Myth, who have been doing quite well in this particular one. They have taken out 2 players from Desert Flame, and my goodness, we spoke about them earlier on, as they have not been able to, perform as well as they possibly can. And I do feel for them. It feels somehow like my heart is breaking right now as I see Flacco and the boys struggling.
Yeah, one thing I just know is that regardless of what happens, they always bounce back, and that is what I'm keeping my mind on, because I can already see them, getting more practice, and they have time to, continue to practice. And one thing I know is that today is day 2, right? Obviously, I feel like at this point, anyone who is trying to get into that top 5 is gonna have to do something very, very splendid, right? And we can already see some of the teams in the top 5 trying to boost their numbers, right? And I'm totally saying that because Myths, we see Team Myths actually out here shooting, getting those elimination points, which is eventually gonna count on the top of the leaderboards, and they are the team in 5th. So Blackjack Esports also still doing well, and these are the teams that are up there on that leaderboard. So if these teams are not relenting, it becomes a whole lot of trouble for the teams on the bottom of the leaderboard. So this is where I'm saying, like, what, right now still try to battle yourself to the top of the leaderboards, but on the other hand, you might as well just relax, just try to get a couple of more money in your pocket at the end of the day, because right now we can already see 1 million trying to find their way into that top 1, and that is one thing I enjoy to watch from that 1 million team, how they wouldn't allow that team that is above them enjoy that lead for as long as they would possibly want.
Definitely, just like you said, the boys from 1 million looking as much as possible to see if they can, take on that spot back from themselves. They will be looking around trying to take out the boys from Crowns. It's like he just keeps shooting like, you're not going anywhere, but my God.
Like, bro, they literally just killed 2 of your players. You might as well just allow them leave. You need to take all of this fight. Desert Flame, be calm. And Million Esports cannot just seem to catch a break as they are finding teams as they continue to head on into the circle.
The only thing we'll say about that situation right there, Crowns, is it depends. Sometimes when you lose 2 players like that, the pain can be very, very hot. So you just got to keep sending on them shots, and that's exactly what they're doing in that particular one. But we still got about 15 teams in this particular one. Fantasy got taken down, but they were not able to get that finish right there, as the boys from 3 Crowns are still holding up a good position up on that mountain and sending on shots to several different teams. You also see the boys from Sanhok getting into a fight with the boys from Titans, and BJE as well getting into a fight with the boys from Cobra. So lovely stuff from all of these guys, as we'll be looking to see who actually does continue to dominate in this game.
Sexy Eastern Zone is what we're seeing. Myths finding themselves in the middle. Slime Fockety out here on the northwestern edge of the circle, but we've got the players there from iMEGA Esports getting the skirmish with Myths in the center. Broly, the drop shot, is able to take him down, but unfortunately, who get dropped? But I think the revive will be coming through from them. But man, look at that zone and look at the positioning of all of these teams out there in the circle. There's about to be a lot of trouble on the north and on that southern edge of the circle.
So far, there's a lot to work with for them, but the next zone is going to change things up a lot. You can see the boys from Slam 4KT taking on their sides onto the boys from CLS as Cyclone has been gone down, and Plaza will be looking to see if he can get that finish onto that CLS player, Isaac, right there. But my goodness, what a time for all of this season. It was down to 15 teams right here, 14 teams right here in the lobby. There was some BJE and not too far away from Desert Flame, as right there, Classa just keeps sending on them shots. Cobra is also in the middle right there, and they're looking like they're in trouble as they do get eliminated right here in 14th place.
I definitely know what Black Cobra wants right now, because given the kind of start that they have, as we get that zone shifting all the way to the west, and in case anybody asks me, the only reason why the zone shifts to the west is because it needed to favor Cyclone Shield one way or the other. But anyway, we just see 3 Crown Esports about to take a fight with Blackjack Esports out there on that northern side of the circle. Grenades being sent out by Fantasy, and it's a question of if he can hold it up against this 3-man force of Blackjack Esports.
All right, if there's anybody that's going to give the boys from 3 Crowns some trouble, it's definitely going to be the boys coming in from the BJE team. All right, so let's wait. Is that actually a thing? BJE. Okay. Anyways, BJE coming in quite close to the boys from 3 Crowns right there, but they are a 3-man squad. They've lost Petrox in this particular one, and be seeing how it is going to pan out for them. But the fear of their life has forced them to hop into their vehicle and just look to turn away from that particular one. If they can get one knock onto the boys from 3 Crowns, it might open things up for them, but so far it is looking quite difficult.
Well, it's not going to be happening, because A9Q will be the man finding the first knock on that wonderful flank that he went through onto the side of Blackjack Esports, but I'm enjoying the push in return coming through from Blackjack. I don't know why they're going for the flank. They do find A9Q on the slack, and it would eventually go down as 3 Crown Esports would eventually lose one in that engagement. Fantasy losing a whole lot of HP in that fight, and I believe Blackjack Esports might be able to use this advantage to probably get into the circle as that zone begins to move.
And Blackjack is still playing that one quite well, going in for that Lone Ranger and taking him out. Now can turn their sights into trying as much as possible to rotate into that zone. They lost one player in that one, but they're still hanging on for their life. There's still about 13 teams in this one. But we now turn our sights onto the boys from Titan coming up against the boys from CLS, as we do see Roach, I do believe, is the last one hopeful for his team, who is now trying to battle it out as they get taken out right there in 13th place. My goodness, what a time for all of this team. Cyclone Shield not having quite a good time, but they came up against the Titans and got sent back into the lobby.
And now, while it might look like it's a nice thing to happen for the Titans, it now becomes a trouble, because like a Sequoia out there on the top of the hill doing a whole lot of damage, he can see many of the players there from Titans who are down this hill. So it's a question of how can Titan leave this situation that they find themselves, a Slime for KT with the up ground advantage. And one thing you don't want is to give this man called Koa this type of advantage, as Slime for KT will begin the fight onto the side there of 1 round.
All right, so Slime for KT looking to get a cool couple of points as they look to climb up on that leaderboard. At some point, they were sitting down in that top spot, after 2 games yesterday and finishing in 2nd spot twice. They've not gotten themselves a winner chicken in there yet, but they were looking to see if this game might just be the game that turn things around for them and boost them up. They've got 4 kills for now. They've got a couple of teams around them. The culprits, the 3 Crowns, are not too far away from their region, and they will still be looking to see if they can take them out and move up on that leaderboard. But take a look at this. We still got Afro Punk, and speaking of him, Venom.
A wonderful 3-pointer coming through from Venom. Kobe Punk. And talk about a grenade of the century. A nice flank coming through from him to support that motion. But man, there's a couple of teams out there in the third party on this northeastern edge of the circle, as we see Mad Knights coming into that skirmish. But Afro Esports have to find a way to grab that revive up onto their fallen soldier.
Oh my god, I saw a very funny comment on the YouTube chat. In fact, the YouTube chat is taking away my concentration for now, so let me focus. All right, so the boys from Afro, who are currently not in a very good spot on that leaderboard, trying as much as possible to battle things out. In fact, we've not really seen them on the stream for this past day, so be curious to see how they do perform against the boys from 1 million. But they just have one player right there to contend with, and that is Venom, and they'll be looking to see if they can take them out right here and obviously boost their confidence as they look to climb up on that leaderboard. Of course, you can see that confirmation coming in, and they lose that one player right there. But Swags and his boys, come on, it is 3 of you, it's just 1 of him, and you can find a way to take him down.
A huge understatement by calling Venom player. As we see,
Yeah.
laid up onto Neo,
Yeah.
takes him down, going on for the 1v1.
Yeah.
That player everybody,
No.
he gets 10 shots to connect, and that man is up to something.
No.
Venom, don't play.
No.
Don't play. He's Venom for a reason. He's poison. You don't play with that man.
This?
And man, if Mad Knight is not careful, they will get taken out. As we can see, Venom already trying to get his angles correct.
What?
One down. Let's go Venom. Let's go Venom. And this man, he's proving and living up to that name, bro. I know he's a player of that caliber. Like I said, a huge understatement for saying it is just one man, because Venom is more than one man. That man is an entire army. He's a battalion. If you look at the grand scheme of things, as he's get two from Mad Knight, he's going to continue on this rampage, looking for 3 right now. Not quite able to get it on the zone.
Only the zone. Only the zone can do it. Only the zone can do it. Only the zone. My God.
Eastern more.
We just witnessed, man. What
A poison and more. Teammates though looking quite strong on the circle, sitting already close with 8 elimination points on the board. Quite interesting to see. Venom currently the kill leader, 6 elims to go alongside to his name. That is one thing that we love to see. But as I speak about teammates, they begin to get uprooted. They begin to get torn apart as they find a way into the circle, as they send it straight into that compound being held by Soul Esports, where they're going to be meeting the Fives and the Glaciers of the players there from Soul Esports.
Man, lovely stuff that we've been seeing so far in this particular game. Violence at every single corner. The boys from Slime 4KT getting eliminated right there. I do believe in 5th place, and Desert Flame getting eliminated in 4th place right there. No, sorry. Desert Flame got eliminated in 4th place. Sorry, not Slime. Slime did the elimination. Sorry. You get within the affects my eye right now.
But then there's something we say about Slime 4KT, especially when it comes to this map of Miramar. They know it like the back and the front of their palms. Already up to 10 elimination points, looking quite strong, but that zone not quite in their favor. But I mean, it's almost like we're calling Justin Bieber a little bit too early, because you know Titan Game is still alive in this one, looking strong with 3-man up, and Soul Esports a strong force to reckon out there with all 4 players still alive. It's the ultimate last 3 battle between the last 3 teams.
The problem that Slime 4KT has right now is the boys from Titans. If they were not in that position that they're at, they might just have, you know, a spot to rotate into the zone with and take over their position. But right here, they've got to smoke it out, push for that position where that one player from Titans is currently at, and occupy that region, because Titans is going to be their problem. But you can see right there, Twix getting a knock onto Koa, one of the players right there from Slime 4KT.
Christmas came early. Christmas came early for Slime 4KT with this push coming through from the side of Titan Gaming, and that is the opening that Slime needs. They get that opening, try to cross the road, but Plaza not quite accounting for P6 position as he goes down. Storm, the last player left to hold down the fort for Slime 4KT, and is able to grab that revival from Koa. But you know what we say, if Koa is still alive, no hope is lost, as the players there from Slime look to find a way into the circle. Soul Esports looking to welcome every person into this new circle with open arms.
Man, this is a really, really tough one for all of these guys. You know, what Slime will just be looking out for right now is if the boys from Soul can turn their sights onto the boys from Titans and sort of like take them out of the game. But Titans now getting a knock onto the boys from Slime 4KT. A stun does go down. But at the same time, Koa still battling things out and takes out one of them. But, man, Crowns, what a time for all of these guys. Titans, Puncher, and the rest cannot go in for that revive. Slime is still in this, they're still fighting. Soul is trying to hold in their position, and my goodness, this is a really, really tough time for all of these guys.
Koa trying to see if he can make it into that smoke. He's definitely last hope as he's looking for a push onto the side there of Soul Esports. Puncher trying to see if he can run for that revive. But Koa, if I were to be you, I'm not going to mind that revive any bit. But he's got no more smokes. He has to crawl out in the open and just hope that he doesn't get spotted by the side there of Soul Esports. But I think Titan Gaming on the other side of the road might just be able to spot him. But Titans, they know that in order to win this game, they need all 3 players alive. And they have to take out this Slime force before they start to make any crazy moves into the circle.
All right, so that position that Kowa is currently at is a lovely, lovely position. If he might be looking to turn things around in this particular game, but my goodness, what a time for the boys from Seoul as they are not taking any chances, turning their sights onto the last player right there from Titan, looking to take out Teak, who is still trying as much as possible to keep himself in this one. If Teak can take out one guy, and at the same time Kowa can get one knock, then it might just turn things around.
Anyway, Wise coming in with the sand, but he fails. As TQ or Teak, we know him to be one of those strong players there for the side of Titan Gaming. He's going in for 3, it doesn't quite get 3, and now is the time. Has Kowa been looking at the Q leaderboards, or sorry, the Q message? Yes, he has, but it's not enough. As Crown Esports take it home. 7 heliums and the winner chicken dinner to go alongside it. Crown Esports are back in business, and they're showing us exactly what they're made of.
Man, you know why I kept asking myself like where's Kowa? Because at the point in time when TK got in those 2 eliminations, I felt like now's the chance, now's the time for Kowa to come in with that third party. But maybe he just came in late, maybe he didn't read that position quite well. But it's just what it is. They still got themselves that second spot. But kudos to the boys from Seoul Esports right there, getting themselves that winner chicken dinner. Lovely gameplay as well from the boys from Titans, still trying the most possible to fight things out. This was a very tight game for everyone.
I mean, for Seoul Esports, this was a very needed chicken dinner, right? Like, they needed something that would actually give them a little bit of a boost on the leaderboard, a little bit of a, of confidence boost also going into that game, right? And looking at that position that they were in, it was absolutely golden. There was nothing that was going to face them. Slime 4KT and Titans had to push out in the open. It was just a matter of when they were going to push into the open and how the players there from Seoul Esports would have taken them out, and they played that very wonderfully well. I mean, MVP going over to Kowa himself, 8 elimination out of 10 for his team. Goes to show why that man is called a beast. Like I said, if Kowa is alive, no hope, he's lost, as he's able to clutch a second place finish for his team. 1100 damage to go alongside it. That man, a beast and more.
My goodness, what a time in this game for the boys from Slime 4KT. Kowa on his own getting a whole bunch of eliminations right there as he single-handedly got himself 8 kills. Look at that damage that the team got, almost 2,000 damage, and Kowa just kept on going over and over again. So Slime 4KT, who finished in the second place in this game, MVT, for this particular game, and we'll be seeing if those amount of points does boost them up. They take it out 22 points crowns from this game, so that is going to obviously be a lot for them to continue to chase and challenge the boys from 3 crowns in that top.
I mean, most valuable team for a reason, right? 10 eliminations and 1800 damage to go alongside it. Slime 4KT putting up the numbers on the board, and nobody wants the players there from 3 Crown Esports to keep running away with with the points on the leaderboard. What 3 Crown Esports not doing the best today, but man, 1 Million Esports was the team I was just about to talk about, and this is head-to-head between the second place and third place team on the leaderboard. Slime 4KT and the side of 1 Million Esports. That is interesting to see. 1 Million able to do about 10 eliminations before going out in this game. Absolutely crucial to the points that they're putting on the top of the board. 1800 damage coming through from Slime, 1600 from the side of 1 Million Esports. And man, look at the grenade kills from Slime 4KT. 3, 2, 1. Talk about numbers.
Man, absolutely amazing stuff coming in from the boys from Slime 4KT and the 1 Million boys. Put it in a lovely performance. Both of the teams getting 10 kills each in this one, with a damage of 1,800 and the other getting 1,656. Man, lovely stuff. Although they didn't get that winner with a chicken dinner, but you just have to give kudos to the boys from 1 Million. We talked about them, getting a whole lot of eliminations even when they're not doing quite well. Even finishing in 7 spots, they still got themselves a whole bunch of kills. So that's just got to tell you that they continuously look for those fights, putting themselves in those dangerous situations.
And this is what we love to say about Miramar, right? Because when it comes to Miramar, we would always see that damage spread going across 4, 5, 6, if not 7 teams, right? Like, we see even Mad Knights able to do over 1,000 damage, Desert Flame Esports 1,030, Blackjack with 814, Elephants in the Room is going to be Team Mets as they're able to get 2,068 damage up on board with only 8 kills to go alongside. That just goes to show that these guys were doing the work, but not quite getting getting those elimination points to go alongside it. But Titans able to finish with 9 elims. That is interesting to see from that team. And this is what I was saying going into today. Titan is not the team that will be satisfied with being in 8th or even 7th position in the lobby. We can already see them gunning for that, top 5, and let's see just how well they'll be able to play it, as we still have a couple of days to go and even a couple of games to go before the end of today.
All right, so we're moving on right now to see head-to-head between Koa and right there Venom. Obviously, these were two players who did provide a great spectacle in that last game. Of course, you saw the squad wipe coming in from Venom against the team Afro. What an amazing time. Chody that nade and just wiping out the entire team right there. It was something, we've got to clip, we've got to watch. I definitely be going back to look at that. Hopefully in the highlights we can see that, but lovely gameplay from both of these players.
Yeah, I would say this. Koa had the ground advantage. High ground advantage was on the top of the hill. He was just ripping apart the teams. Venom, on the other hand, got 4 eliminations in a fight with Afro Esports. Got the remaining 2 from the side of Mad Knights. That man was facing all of these teams as a solo player. And you could just tell that man is a beast. He's actually good at this game and he knows exactly what he's doing. Putting up the numbers on the board for his team. Absolutely crucial moments. That is exactly what we want to see from these 2 teams. I'm looking forward to seeing what these 2 players will be showing us. Like I said, 2nd place and 3rd place on the leaderboards. We look forward to seeing what they do as the gap is now closing. 94 from 1 Million Esports. 3 Crowns still have 109 on the board. Slime about 30 points behind, so it means they have a lot of work to do. But look at Titan Gaming breaching successfully into that 5th place, and Sony Sports also doing the same thing for that 6th position. This is what I love to see.
All right, so looking at the bottom half of the table, you still got the boys from Black Club Cobra, who didn't perform quite well in this game. And I just keep saying this, right? We keep seeing them, put up the kills, put up the fights, but somehow they're not just getting those placement points. They're not just getting those wins at the end of the day. They've got to step it up and keep pushing themselves into that final third of the game. Desert Flame doing a lot better in this particular game, getting some extra points, but still not being able to show us what they're capable of. Mad Knight stayed the same. Cyclone Shield lost position, and you just have to look at iMEGA Esports, Team Apex to the 1st century, and Afro Esports to ask yourself, what are they for now?
I gotta mention this, that I did speak to all of them, or at least I was in a banter with a couple of these teams, right, asking them what was wrong and what they were gonna do. And Cyclone Shield right now, they've dropped 4 places in 2 games, right? Miramar used to be a map that I know that they had their strong foot, but it did look like a whole lot of trouble coming through from Titan Gaming on that push on that western edge. But Cyclone Shield is not something that I'm enjoying to see from your side. Out there in 12th place, I'm not enjoying to see. Desert Flame, like I said, they never give up, they keep pushing. They started up today in, I think, 14th or 13th place. We see them already finding a way into that top 10, just about 10 points behind, top 8. So like I said, Desert Flame is a team that I wouldn't count out, at least not just yet when it comes to climbing up on the top of the leaderboards. One Round Esports, a little bit on the decline. I want to actually see them do better. But right now, I'm still keeping my eye out on that top 4 as the gap now begins to close. The table now looks like something that, a couple of teams can find a way to catch up, as we've got 2 more games before the end of today.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be looking to see how each and every one of these teams fares in the upcoming games so far. I do believe we still got about 2 games, so don't go nowhere. We'll be taking a quick break and we'll be right back for some more action.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was just talking and doing a little bit of banter on the YouTube chat because you guys are absolutely bringing life to the stream. I will not lie. Welcome back to the African Elite League, brought to you by Crown Esports in partnership with Monster Energy. We're speaking about Monster, we're speaking about Green, we're speaking about Green, we're speaking about Sanhok. How are you feeling about this? Fire.
I think yesterday what happened was we saw a lot of huge strats going on. At some point in time, there were about 4 or 5 teams going on with the huge strats, in that final circle. So I think it's going to be a different kind of game. We're probably going to see new champions emerging at the end of this one. So yeah, it's a very chaotic map. Yeah.
Well, if we're going to be seeing huge strats today, I hope we don't. And I know many of these teams like to do, crazy stuff when Crowns is played. So I'm just going to hope that nobody goes for that huge strat today. But anyway, if everyone is going to go for a huge strat, I mean, fine. So right, it's strats for a reason. But man, when it comes to Sanhok, I actually just want to see a couple of teams, right? When I'm saying a couple of teams, I want to see Soul Esports. I know they're good with Sanhok. Slime 4KT, good with Sanhok. Titan Gaming, good with Sanhok. 1 Million, good with Sanhok. Man, I've mentioned almost all the teams in the top 5, and this is why they are in the top 5, because these are the teams that know how to do it. And I'm gonna chip in 3 Crown into that mix because I know they got a winner chicken dinner on Sanhok yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So Fire, who do you have your eye on?
I think my eyes is on the most on Slime 4KT. I feel like this is their moment to get that winner chicken dinner. So let's see how it does for them.
Oh, all right. I'm hearing information that the game did get restarted, so it looks like we might be postponing Sanhok Chaos for a while. But That being said, I don't know why. Maybe because Crowns didn't enter the room, but who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the reason.
I didn't actually enter that room though.
Yeah, but then still, right now, I was talking about like Sanhok, right? And you know, many of these teams right now, I do know the players there from iMEGA Esports like to land in boot camp, and the same thing goes for there's another team that lands in boot camp. I don't know why their name is not coming to my head, but I know for one that iMEGA Esports like to land in boot camp, and I always look forward to seeing what they will do whenever they land in boot camp. Like I said, right now they're doing in the group stages or in the qualifiers coming into the finals, they did have to battle with some of the other teams out there in the boot camp outskirts. But now that they're in the finals, I don't think they have any of those teams like Art of Killing around them in boot camp. So it's the team that I'm looking forward to seeing, especially when it comes to Sanhok, to see what their Sanhok performance is going to be.
All right, so we'll see what that's going to be like. There are a lot of stubborn teams. I feel like we're going to see a Pochinki fight, bootcamp fight, Painan. We saw that yesterday. A lot of teams getting taken out quickly, and maybe one or two players being left in some teams, and then they just go in for that huge strat. We saw 21 do the huge strat yesterday. It was Agatha, I believe, who was on that huge strat. I think they finished about 5th. They got some good points from that particular game. So we'll see if all teams, like especially teams that are at the bottom half, like probably Desert Flame, Afro, Team Apex 21, they might see this as an opportunity to grab those extra points for themselves and continue to boost themselves up that leaderboard. And yeah, maybe that may just work out for them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just got information that one of the players was trying to sneak in Scarel into Sanhok, and that is something that we're not going to be allowing. So that being said, we have to go through a little bit of back checks, restart the room. I will be right back for more. Oh wait, the game is starting. Okay. Now that works. I knew somebody was holding the Scarel, but then I think they sorted out that issue quite quickly. So we'll be getting into Sanhok for the third game of the day. We did see Erangel go over to the side there of Crown Esports, went over to Miramar, which went to the hands of Soul Esports, and now we're about to enter Sanhok to see what team will be taking it out. I know a couple of fans in the chat will label it Slime Hawk, and but we'll see if Slime 4KT will be able to do that against the maybe even 3 Crown will be able to come in to crown themselves the champions of Sanhok today.
Absolutely. We'll be seeing how this game is going to go. We still got about 2 games, guys, so grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, and leave your comments down there. I can see you guys are going on very, very, very chatty, all right? So what I want you to chat about right now is who is going to win this particular game, all right? All for pride. I don't have anything to give you, but basically just shout out to your team. Shout out to your team who you think is going to be taking this one home, all right?
Yeah, and going into this Sanhok game, right, one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing right now is that fight in the ruins area of the map. And I say that because I know Titan Gaming lands around the ruins, and Soul Esports lands around the ruins also. Cyclone Shield lands around the ruins, Afro Esports lands around the ruins. So that's a couple of teams that I know land around the ruins. Now Afro Esports have gone for a different play. Love that. Soul Esports not looking to give up on that ruins, and the same thing can be said about Titan as we see them heading all the way to ruins. It's a long jump for all of these teams. Cyclone Shield going to Camp Charlie? Come on, Cyclone.
With BJE, they're landing right there with BJE, and we might see something going down right there. Both of them are chilling with Uncle Charlie right there, so we'll see how that one actually does play out for them. There's going to be some action right there, so hopefully we'll be keeping an eye onto that one. The boss was Slime 4KT going all the way towards Camp Alpha. They're not too far away from Mad Knights, but it doesn't look like the boss of Mad Knights might be heading towards Hating, so both teams will be uncontested in their position, so we'll see how that one does play out.
Yep, fight's already breaking out there in the ruins area as Weiss is going to find that introductory knock onto the side of Titan Gaming Axer. And this is something that I was looking, this was something that I was looking forward to seeing, right? The fights that will be happening around the ruins. But, looking at the way the teams landed in this game, you can already tell that because some A is trying to avoid B, he's eventually going to land with C. Cyclone Shield trying to avoid Soul Esports and Titans went to another landing location, but now they end up with the players there from Blackjack Esports, right? The players there from whoa, what is going on? What is going on? P6 against the DBS? No way. No way. I think Weiss is lagging, but P6. Movement of P. Let's go. Wow.
What is this? What is going on here?
I mean, Axa is there to return the favor, but now he has to face up against Hemo out there in that little shack. But Titan, you've got to admire P6 for holding up for so long. Axa sees white and he goes down. As Soul Esports looking to look strong on this part of the circle, we know that this team, yep, your bad manners.
Third party.
Toxicity gone wrong.
You wanted to be wicked, but wickedness found you.
Well, I mean, you love to see, and you see this that is going on right now. Desert Flame actually has iMEGA in Pineapple that they should be dealing with. But they decided to go and you know, this is a situation of going to look for what did not look for you, right? To be the fine way to find you. Desert Flame Esports going for the third party when they still had friends and neighbors in Painan, but it does look like Building has got his eye fixated on the side of Soul Esports. Soul Esports still looking strong. We've seen Soul Esports land in ruins before, and we see them try to. Like they got the party by 3 teams and they survived it all. So right now, seeing that they've lost only one player is not something that is too surprising to see, at least from my side. Blackjack Esports gets it started with Cyclone Shield, as it does look like Cyclone Shield is the one on the losing end right now.
All right, yes. Just looking at that kill field, I did see, a couple of players from, Cyclone Shield get taken down, and, BJE did also lose one player. I think they had one player who was confirmed, but my goodness, what a 3-way fight coming on right here between the boys from Soul, Desert Flame, Titans, and, 4-way fight, and the boys from iMEGA. There was no room for the wicked right there as the third party got third party, but Desert Flame is still setting their sights onto the boys from Soul as Building does get a knock right there onto Twix, and he'll be looking to see if he can get a finish as he has Hemo just in front of him, but he does get taken out.
Third party gone wrong on the side of Building. The Desert Flame lose yet another player. A strong fragger on their side. It's going to be none other but Building going down. And Mix Esports are out here for the third party of the century. Soul Esports still eating and benefiting from this fight, but not without losing one more player on their side. And this was what I was saying. Normally, we would see a lot of this action going on around the boot camp area of the map. Maybe boot camp, maybe Paradise. But right now, seeing all of this happening around the ruins and the Painan area of Sanhok is not something that we get to see every day, right? And look at just how many teams are going down as the push in Painan gets started by Desert Flame onto the side of iMEGA Esports as iMEGA gets eliminated in 16th place. Once again, Fire is muted, but he doesn't know.
The boys from Desert Flame have lost 2 players in this particular one, but they did manage to win that fight. Lovely stuff for them. But now the boys from Myth coming in right there and taking out one of the players from Soul, man. Soul has been on some, I don't know. It's been really, really tough for them in this particular game as they've been getting third party left, right, center. But kudos to the boys from Desert Flame winning that one. They've got themselves 6 kills in this particular game. And I feel like if I was in that situation on Crowns, I would go for a huge strat. Like build up position points on the kills.
Yeah, but then how you don't get that much meds around the ruins area, right? This is what makes this a little bit sad for many of these teams, because right now I can't even think of an option for many of these teams, right? I can't even say go to another drop location, right? That's not an option. Yeah. I can't say try to loot faster. I say try not to fight, because regardless of what happens, this third party would always come through, right? Third party from Finance will come through. Team Meets also would come through with the third party. Desert Flame comes in for the third party. It's already bad enough that Titans and Soul Esports are fighting, and it's just something that wouldn't pay off. And one thing I enjoyed from both teams, right, both Titan Gaming and Soul Esports, is how they decided to land. And this is what I love about these teams, right? Knowing that this happened, or this will happen, they decided to go for a split, right? The last player from Titan Gaming is on the boot camp side of things. Last player from Soul Esports is around the Camp Alpha side of things. If you know this game, like you see that last player there from Soul Esports, Rauf out there in the trifecta, right? Last player from Titan Gaming is so close to boot camp. And that just goes to show that they knew that something was going to happen in ruins. and they were not willing to lose all 4 players in any of those skirmish. Wonderful play coming through from both teams. They lost players, but to see them still alive, having one player that can still, hold up to the end of the game, interesting to see. Ralph is the IGL for that, or is one of the IGLs too for the Soul Esports team. TQ is one of those strong players that we know can survive on his own. So, that play is actually a calculated play, calculated risk coming through from the side of Titan Gaming and, Soul Esports. And I enjoy to see that. I give them a pat on the back for that play.
Yeah, lovely stuff coming in from them right there. As we now turn our sights onto several other teams, the boys from 1 million, who have a lot of expectations on their back. Usually we see them grabbing a whole lot of kills, whether it's 10 kills quite early on this one, but so far they haven't really gotten any. But right now they found the juicy Afro Esports, as Priest said yesterday. Yes. According to Priest yesterday, he said, Afro Esports are looking really sweet and juicy to other teams so far. Well, I don't know what he meant by that, but obviously the boys from 1 million will be tracking them and looking to see if they can get a couple of kills and take them out of the game. But you never really know. The boys from Afro might just step it up a notch and get themselves those kills right there. But they're down to the last guy, and we're curious to see how they do play that one.
21st Century, in the bid not to meet with Black Cobra in Paradise Resorts, decided to land in Kampong. Now they met against the players there from Crown Esports, who are now taking them out. And this is piggybacking on what I was saying earlier in the game. Afro Esports did not want to land with Titan Gaming in Ruins. They decided to land further north. They jammed the players there from 1 Million Esports. So like I said, teams trying to run away from another team ended up running into another team. And these are situations where we say things like, the devil is, better than the angel you do not know. Because right now they're going to meet new angels that they do not know, who might actually turn out to be devils, as 1 Million Esports not looking as accommodative as one would think they will be, taking out those players. And look at Black Cobra just having fun out here in Paradise Resorts all alone.
Yeah, they're just shitting on them right now. They've got themselves 1 defeat so far, but they come into this game with a 3-man squad. So obviously we're looking to see how they can take things easy, get into very reasonable fights, because they have, just that one man with them. All right, so we still got about 14 teams left here in this particular one. We'll be going into the 3rd zone in about a minute. So all these teams are gearing up and getting ready for what's going to be a very good spectacle, as these teams now begin to make their rotations into that zone. But if you were to predict so far, Crowns, who do you think will be able to seal this game from everything you've seen so far?
And that's a tough one, man. I'm putting in all these stranglers, all these solo stranglers that are, left in the game right now. I almost want to say Teak, because he's a solo, he can do a lot of work. But I'm gonna give benefit of the doubt to the side of Team Apex. I feel like this is probably they're looking very comfortable in that circle, and I think this is a game that they can use to bump themselves up on the leaderboard. So I think if they play their cards right, Team Apex looking good in this Sanhok game.
All right, definitely. But you can see getting eliminated right there is the boys from Desert Flame. They came into this game and got themselves 6 kills quite early on. We saw them right there by the bridge, taking out a couple of players. But the team myth is having none of that, as they do send them back home, send them back into the lobby. They'll be kicking themselves and thinking that they could have performed a lot better in this particular one. But taking a look at that map right now, you can now see several different teams trying as much as possible to rotate towards that zone. And look at that zone, betraying everybody that was at boot camp and Paradise Resort, and forcing them to now begin to rotate into that center. You got BJE, Apex looking quite strong right there. And do you think this might be the game for Apex, Crowns?
Yeah, I already said it. I feel like they're sitting pretty. This is most likely their game to take home, right? And, looking at what is about to happen on that western side of the circle, Titan Gaming Stick might just, encounter the players there from 1 Round Esports, 1 Million also coming in behind from the side there of Black Cobra. Many of these teams do seem to be coming in from that western edge of the circle. And, if Team Apex are able to go for a split out there on that center of the circle, they're golden. They can take out any person, that fight that might break out on that western side, third party of the century doing it.
Definitely. We'll see how that one works out. Slime 4KT also keeping a full squad so far, now rotating into that zone. No easy, no easy. As all these guys are looking to try as much as possible to see what they can do with this particular game. Slime with just one kill. Titans, by the way, have just one player left. Crown.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, right? Given that they had that, they did have that hot drop situation going on. They have one player left. Solely Sports, okay, did get taken out, but Solely Sport also had one player left too in that game, right? And like I said, that is just in the bid for them to grab a couple of more placement points, to go on into the game. So Titan Gaming not counting them out, but Apex that we're talking about, it does look like One Round Esports would be the one finding the player there from Team Apex. The machine himself is the player going out on that split, and I kind of feel bad because this was my advice, right? That they should go for a split on the top of the hill, right? And now they went for the split and well, express movements.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so the boys from Team Apex losing one player right there to one round as they are still holding a good position within that zone. But then we're coming into a fight right there. Blessing and the boys are getting, just closer and closer to other teams, but they would try as much as possible to see what they can take out of this game so far. The boys from CLS are still battling in this one. They've still got a couple of players to their name, or just one player left in their team, actually. We did think that they were taken out by BJE quite early on, but they did manage to keep one player in this particular game. I'm curious to see what he can do and how well he can continue to keep them surviving in this particular one. He's got teammate right in front of him and he's trying as much as possible to go in for that finish. He goes for the drop shot, but look at Brawley right there getting that last player.
I mean, the DBS comes in clutch. Always believe in the DBS. Don't be stupid. Behave yourself. That is what we call that gun. As DBS will come out victorious, CLS 0 going out. And this is what I was saying. I was about to say this about Sanhok, right? Because Sanhok is that map that, you get three players, but then you know that you will find that last player and you will not find who that or where that last player is, right? And that's what makes it crazy in terms of placement, because 34 players alive, you're almost feeling confident, but look at that, 11 teams still alive with, about 2 teams left with only like less than 2 players left. Titan Gaming we won, 21st Century won. And I'm not even gonna lie, this is impressive to see this many teams still alive with a full squad.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some Mad Knights, and Slime 4KT also within that mix. 1 round and 3 crowns. 3 crowns always trying as much as possible, or always having a situation where they're sneaking in with their full team. I don't know how they do it. They always somehow manage to stay together. With their team right there. But you can see the boys from Black Cobra now putting in the work onto the boys from 1 million as they do get another knock. But Mad Knights also doing the same as they take out another player right there for 1 million esports. And they are now deciding, hey, you know what? I got 40 mates. Sanke.
Lewis's theory, for those that have been watching me for a while, we all know that Lewis's theory, he retired now, come on. Anyway, we all know that Lewis's theory states that if you have 45 first aid kits, you are going to completely out-heal Sanhok up till 2nd place, provided you hit your button and you use them correctly. So there is that little bit of an extra bit of information going on there. But anyway, a lot of trouble anticipated on that western edge of the circle, and indeed it is happening as we see Slime 4KT coming in from that western edge, putting on the fire, putting on the pressure to the side of Blackjack Esports. Krona has to grab that revive up onto MG, but Slime 4KT using that time to find a way to the top of that hill. Grenades coming out, but it's man, that's a very long grenade. Doesn't quite get there. As players there from Blackjack Esports looking to pull away from that fight, which is weird. I don't see why you're pulling away from a fight that you can clearly gatekeep. No way.
All right, so the fear of Slam 4KT and the boys, Koa and his boys right there is huge wisdom. It's huge wisdom. As the boys from BJE just decided, hey, you know what, we're just going to pull away from that one and try as much as possible to be cautious in this particular game. Obviously, they'll be looking to get themselves some extra placement points in that particular one. The boys from, 3 crowns are still holding it tight in this particular game with a full squad. Cobra, they just got a 3-man squad, but they came in with a 3-man in this particular one. And we've talked about these guys, right? Crowns. They always get their kills, but somehow they're not just getting the placement points. Maybe this might be the game that will turn that thing around for them.
I mean, they've got Hamodi. I don't think they have too much to worry about. That man is a very strong player, and even Wash is also one of those strong players. Titan Gaming eventually gets spotted as a Teak does get taken back into the lobby. Couldn't handle that much pressure coming through from Apex and the side of One Round Esports. That's a simultaneous push coming through on that northwestern side of the circle. As I don't get why Blackjack Esports left that fight. That was clearly a winnable fight. Oh, the snake gets spotted in the grass, gets uprooted, sent back into the lobby. Ammo win. That is not a fight you're going to win. It's a 1v3. Not going to be happening today. As that fight out there on that west continues. Team Apex putting in the work onto the side of One Round Esports. And Slime 4KT coming in for the third party. It's getting crazier and crazier as we get another zone shift. Zone 5. And all of these teams now have to start to reposition.
Oh my God, we still got about 10 teams right here as we're moving all the way from the 5th zone to the 6th, and things are getting tighter and tighter for a lot of these guys. So we're going to see a huge drop in that next zone because, you know, things are about to go absolutely crazy. We got a couple of teams who are still currently sitting down with a full squad. We got the boys from 3C, Slime 4KT, BJE has got a 3-man squad right there, as well as the boys from Cobra. They're all within the same region, and we're looking to take each other out as we begin to rotate. But take a look at the boys from 3 Crown. They've managed somehow to sneak themselves into the next zone already, and this is what champions are usually made of. They always keep on sneaking in, getting those extra points. Grounds.
Going in from that eastern edge, they didn't really have too much of trouble. But right now, I'm looking at the players there from Team Nets, right? I always say this: the quarry almost looks like a nice spot, but you don't want to be caught in the quarry, regardless of where it is in the circle, right? So right now, you don't want to be in the quarry; you want to be around the quarry, and that is what is about to happen. Million Esports realizing that the hard way. Koa gonna find that player in the quarry. He's gonna send him out to the straight up flush to follow alongside with that knock, as the third party is imminent from the other side of the quarry. Slime 4KT also have to find a way around that quarry, and that is where the trouble begins. That is where the fight starts. That is where it starts to get very chaotic, and we see the chaos in Sanhok.
Oh, as you can see right there, the boys from Slime 4KT getting the kills upon kills, and right there, Koa getting a confirmation onto another player, and things are getting really tough. Oof,
he's gonna get knocked again to the zone. You don't grab revives in zone 5, Team Apex. Not playing this the way I wanted them to. Black Cobra are going to be losing Wash as he does go down to that blue zone. This is the blue zone that you either have to heal or you have to be in that zone, as he does get taken out by the blue zone. But the revive will come through. Hamodi, spider senses are tingling. And that's just straight up game sense, right? Nobody is in there, but you just have to just defy that odds, you know. Just assume that there's going to be a player out there, you know, throwing in that grenade, throwing in that molly, just trying to see if you can, like, you know, get a little bit of, what's the word? See if there's somebody in that shack. Nice play coming through from him. The revive will come through. We're down to the final 9. We've got about 4 teams trying to grab that huge strat going on into this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now that we're down to 9 teams, the boys from BJE now sending those shots onto the boys from Slime 4KT and 3 Crowns around them. They've got a good position within that zone, and we'll be looking to see if they can defend this and get that winner chicken dinner. Remember, we talked about them, you know, not performing as well as we know that they can, and stealing off games. Maybe this might just be the game to turn things around for them as they look to push into, you know, a great position within that zone. They're taking out shots onto the boys from Team Apex. It's the boys from Cobra. And my goodness, it is really tough for a lot of these guys. As you're seeing, players just drop left, right, center, but we're still holding it down with 9 teams so far.
Nate does bounce off the tree, not quite able to get to the position that Hamodi might want it to be, but this is a situation in Sanhok where standing up is not an option. Grenades being sent towards A9 Q, not going to be connecting, but 1-9 does get spotted by Blackjack Esports. Like you pointed out, their position is absolutely paramount in the circle. Last player there from Slime 4KT, Koa, does get spotted, and I think that is like, wait, that's not the last. Storm is still alive. How about that? But anyway, Storm, IGL for that team. Still alive. Plaza also going for the huge strat. Slime 4KT looking a little bit strong, but you know, Blackjack Esports now do not get that zone favor, and now here comes the point where they have to battle against the side there of 3 Crown and try to find a way into the circle.
Absolutely, absolutely great stuff coming in from all of these guys, and you can see 3 Crowns still trying to keep themselves alive in this one. They got a 2-man squad, but just
you see his teammate from the blue. I love that. But was that worth it? Was that really needed? Yes, it was. As Kakao is able to get that heal up right in time. A9Q is going to be there for the flush as he has to continue his way into the circle. Team Apex left one more player. It's going to be Blessing as we're down to the final 8 team. There's only 4 teams. Oh!
Wait, what?
What? Swallow the grenade. Beautiful Kobe coming through from Lilouch as he's able to get A9Q down. The instant thirst is going to follow. There's nothing Kakao can do from that blue zone. As now Blackjack Esports get into the circle. Lilouch already up to 6 elimination points. A lot of snakes, a lot of stranglers. Blackjack Esports currently left with only 2 players, but look at how many people are going for the huge strats. E-Flex from one round has still got 10 first aid kits in the bag. You know, I don't know if I can see everybody in the blue zone right now. Blackjack Esports, they've got MG with 15 in the bag. Lilouch, the last player left for Blackjack Esports, holding it up. And man, it is literally solos in the blue zone. This is a 1v1v1. Apex, the only team without a member in the blue zone going for the heal. Blackjack Esports, they've got MG in the blue zone. Black Cobra, Hamodi is also the last one left for his team. And this is where it starts to get crazy, right? It's a question of who is going to be able to hold it on. I feel like these are games where, you know, these are games where the person that is doing the huge traps will die before the last player alive.
I'm telling you. Remember we did with this about, you know, all these teams trying as much as possible to get them huge traps, but BJE now is getting into the fight. But blessing OP. He does get another knock, turning sides onto another player right there from BJE, and MG goes down. It's now left to Lilouch. He does get that confirmation as well again. And
no time.
This might just be what we were talking about. It might be the day for Apex. If he can win this one, then
no way.
One's left, but BJE, no way they take on that one. And this might
5 teams. 5 teams left. E-Flex runs out of meds. Down he goes. We're down to the final 4. Blackjack Esports, the only team with a player in the circle, as we still have 3 Crown Esports opting for that huge strat. Kakao still out there in that blue. If I am Kakao, here's the time where I start to get closer, but I don't know if there is a way to get out of here. He's running out of those boosts, which means the heal off might not just be coming in quite as smoothly as this next zone closes. This is zone 8, and I think once we get zone 9, it's almost impossible to heal up. 1 Million Esports, I believe, is the other team that is still alive with one more player in that blue zone. And, you know, we're talking about Lewis's theory that once you have 45 first aid kits, you're able to make it into second place easy. Blackjack Esports, Lilouch. I can imagine how anxious this man must feel, because he knows that any shots from anywhere in the game or anywhere could take him out and, you know, seal his team, you know, make his team go out. He knows that it's probably like 4 solos that are available in the game right now. Teammates runs out, Senke runs out, 3 Crown Esports runs out, and Blackjack Esports. We've been waiting for this, and they eventually give it to us out here in Sanhok as they're able to get the winner chicken dinner out here. Wow. What a finish. I didn't think I was going to see huge strats.
I told you before the game started, a lot of people weren't performing as well, and they would seek to use, you know, the hill strats. But it didn't just come in from, you know, the culprits that I thought. It also came in from the winners on the top, like 3 crowns, like 1 million boys. All these guys were prioritizing, you know, getting in the hill strats. BJE probably thought about it for a while, but decided, hey, you know what, we're just gonna get into the circle. We don't see a lot of people there, and it did pay off for them eventually. I did feel like Apex had a chance at some point in time. Maybe Blessing, if they had one more player with them, could have actually taken that one on. But kudos to him getting an extra elimination for his team right there. Graced from all these guys.
I think I'm actually going to put a little bit of Blessing, I'm giving you good job. But I'm still going to say, I wasn't going to say to go for the grenade. He had one more grenade. We've seen these players, right? Many of these players, you'd almost think they prefer to fight with the grenade than they do with their guns, right? I would have expected him to cook that grenade, throw it, get a little bit of HP off of Lilouch before he eventually tries to shoot Lilouch, you know, get that HP factor down, you know, because HP does give you a lot of advantage going into the fight. So Blessing, I feel like that's a fight that he could have easily won, and, you know, the tables would have been turned. They'll probably be the winners of the game, because, I mean, just that mistake that he made his team finish in 5th place. So I mean, that is not good for the, you know, portfolio. That is not good for what they've got going on for their numbers up on the board. But that was interesting to see. I believe the man of the match, the most valuable player, the MVP, should be going to Lilouch. Who do you think?
Definitely him. I stand by that too. He put in a lot of work for the team, and got them to where they are. So yeah, we'll see who the stats go for.
I mean, what are the odds that it's not somebody from? Oh, it has to be him. Come on, Lee Loud, kill leader, 7 elimination points, 1,117 damage to go alongside it. He was that man that survived for his team, getting them that winner chicken dinner, surviving for 23 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. And that man definitely putting in the number. Huge machine for that team, Blackjack Esports, pulling up when it was needed the most. And this is what you enjoy to see from players.
Absolutely. Getting himself 7 kills right there, showing us that BJE is not out of this one. They're definitely here to continue to show what they're capable of. Getting 7 kills right there on his own, getting more than 1,000 damage for his team. So I mean, it just feels like Crowns. Every single time I mention BJE, and I'm like, BJE is not doing so well. Before you know, it's just like they have a microphone on my mouth, and they're just like, oh, he said we're not doing well, guys. Suit up. Yeah. So yeah, great stuff from them. The mic is muted. It is time for
Blackjack. Blackjack being the team of the century, or the team of the map, as we see them grabbing 11 elimination points, 1,700 damage to go alongside it. And to think that out of 1,794 damage, one player, Blackjack Esports Lee Louch, was able to get 1,176 out of that, leaving his team to share what? 4 kills and the remaining damage. And I did see somebody in the chat going on and on about some players carrying their team, and I hope he says the same thing about Lee Louch and Blackjack Esports. If not, that's where we are. Me and him are going to fight. But anyway, head to head is going to be between Desert Flame and Black Cobra. Or who are we seeing? I mean, who would I like to see the head-to-head? Who would I like to see a head-to-head?
I think it's obviously BJE versus someone, but I don't know.
I mean, BJE got too much. BJE got just way too much, right? Black Cobra and Desert Flame definitely doing the numbers. Desert Flame with 6 eliminations, and that came from, their fights with, what team was it in Painan? With iMEGA Esports, and, the third party against Titans and Soul Esports out there. That's where they got most of their elimination points, and then Black Cobra getting all of their fights going on that northwestern edge. When that circle shifted, that was where they had to deal with a lot of teams, even Team Apex, Slime, and a little bit too much for them to handle. But look at that, Sanhok, we don't get that much damage spread all through the map or all across the board, but we did get a couple of eliminations out there on the board. A couple of teams going for that huge strat, a couple of teams were able to do a little bit of damage, but not quite able to put in the numbers on the board. I mean, Slime 890 damage with only 3 elims. Look at 3 Crown, 1,064 damage, only 5 eliminations on board. These are numbers that we only see in Sanhok.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of damage for these teams, not being able to confirm some of their kills so far, or maybe the kills getting stolen. It could be one of the two or both of them. But we'll be curious to see how all of this does shape up the leaderboard with this extra kills coming in from Blackjack Esports. I do believe that they got an extra 26 points in this particular game alone, and they've been able to boost themselves up. So let's see whether it takes them up on the entire leaderboard now.
I mean, yeah, looking at them having the most numbers on the board right now, that is just interesting to see. 11 elims, closest to them is 6, which is like 5 eliminations behind them. It's kind of interesting to see Black Cobra able to put in the damage. And not gonna lie, I'm actually enjoying what I'm seeing from Black Cobra, right? They've been on fire, and I feel like Black Cobra decide to play well when I'm in the game, right? And this is a team that we saw coming through from AEC, right? We saw them actually show us that they can get these games even without getting any of those eliminations up on board. But we do see the head-to-head, which almost seems like an unfair head-to-head between Lee Louch and Klasa, because, and I say unfair when it comes to that damage put across the board, because look at Lee Louch, 1,000 damage, and then Klasa is out there on 460. So Klasa, you've got to confess, you were stealing kills, weren't you? 0 assists.
He was still in. He's the reason why Slime had only 3 kills. He was
How about that? How about that? That man putting in the damage, surviving only 9 minutes, but still putting in the work, making it count as we go over to that overall leaderboard. 1 Million Esports joined 3 Crown in that 100-point mark. Sanhok ATC 20 points behind. But 1 Million, like I said, they're not a team that would allow 3 Crown Esports run away with the lead. I mean, there's still 2 more days to go. 1 more game today, which means 1 chicken dinner from 1 Million Esports. Matter of fact, just a really good game with good elimination points will bounce 1 Million Esports up to the top of the leaderboard. Blackjack Esports not relenting, not resting as they find their way back to 5th position, pushing Titan and Soul Esports down by 1 point. Desert Flame still maintaining that 10th position. And Team Apex not quite able to get so many points, but iMEGA Esports in 14th place is not something that I'm enjoying to see, and it's not even something that I like to see.
Amazing stuff coming in from all these teams. But you just got to give it to the boys from Blackjack Esports. They were sitting down on the second, page yesterday up until when they got that first winner with a chicken dinner. They've been able to fight their way through. Just judging from with chicken dinners alone, they've got 2 winner with a chicken dinners. And we talk about 3 Crowns performing a lot better than everyone else, but you just got to give it to Blackjack Esports. I feel like the only thing holding Blackjack is that they're not being consistent, with their games. They win 1 chicken dinner and they get lost for 2 games, right? They're not keeping up that consistency in, just placing high or continuously getting the kills, and that's probably a certain aspect of the game that they need to improve. But regardless, great game coming in from them. But you just got to look at the other side of the table. At that bottom side, iMEGA 21, Afro. What can they do to turn things around?
I don't know, magic. I don't want to say some stuff, but I'm just gonna leave the bottom 2 of the leaderboards because there are 2 teams that I didn't really know too much about. They didn't really play the African Elite Championship, so I'm not too surprised as to how they're performing out here, but I'm very surprised to see that they made it into the finals, which I'll congratulate them for. These are situations where you just try to see how well you perform against these kind of teams, right? Like this caliber of teams, but still, it's interesting to see Black Cobra out there in 9th position, slowly getting closer and closer to the top of the leaderboards, but like I said, my eyes is still on that top 4, the top 5 out here in the lobby, because many of these teams, many of these players are already finding their way to the top, closing in the gap. Look at 1 Million closing up on 3 Crown Esports, Sanhok AT, Meats is already closing up on Sanhok AT, Blackjack closing up on Team Meats, Titan also, just right behind them. So it's good to kind of see that, many of these teams are, getting themselves in par, getting themselves back on track. And that being said, we're about to head into the final game of the day. We're getting things ready for Erangel as we're about to get things started, getting everything ready and set for the final game of the day. And like I said, this is day 2, right, of the African Elite League, which means like there's still a whole lot of action to still unfold, as we still got I think 2 more days to the end of the finals. I think we lost fire, but hopefully we can actually send it to a break right now. So that being said, enjoy the leaderboards. We'll be right back with more African Elite League action as we'll be closing things off in Erangel. So stay safe, stay connected. We'll be right back for more action in the African Elite League. See you soon.
When the show goes, when the show goes, when the show goes, when the show goes. when the show goes.
I'll grab the keys, you get the top down. No time for sleep, I'm talking right now. Just you and me, and all the stars out. Run away, run away. I don't wanna wait for you. Let's run the red light. I don't wanna wait for you to waste our precious time. Run away, run away, run away. We need to fight. I don't wanna wait for you. Let's run the red light.
I was talking too much. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the African Elite League, brought to you by Crown Esports in partnership with Monster Energy. I'm out here with Axfire. He's not been drinking Monster Energy because I've been drinking the Monster Energy. I'm more energetic right now. But anyway, we're about to head into the final game of the day. Axfire, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite great. Actually, I've been drinking Monster as well as some other stuff.
I want to see you spam cap in the chat. Come on, let's get it.
All right, so yeah, today has been a very great day with all of these teams just putting in the work. You know, it just feels like even BJE, every single time I speak about them, and I'm like, oh, BJE is not doing quite well. Boom, boom, boom. They just get that whatever they're chicken. It's like they have a mic on my mouth. So yeah, somehow I feel like this might be the game for Slime. I've been saying it since, but maybe just now might be that time. So we'll see how this one goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you saw it here first. Axfire has just jinxed Slime for KT. Anyway, let's get into it. We're about to head into the final Erangel game of the day. We do see Cyclone Shield running and jumping all the way towards that Primorsk area. I don't think they'll be getting the same visitors that they got as Black Cobra. Do look to be landing elsewhere on the map. We do have a couple of, we have a player actually from Cyclone Esports looking to head in their direction, but we're just going to see how things are going to end up going into the game today. I believe there's probably more teams from, more players there from Seoul, but that's not the fight they want to take. Actually, Cyclone Esports was the one that landed with them. So if Cyclone Shield is going back to Primorsk with Cyclone Esports, go for it. You know, take the fight. Just maybe you might actually come out on top. But Cyclone Esports, on the other hand, you know you have more to lose than the side there of Cyclone Shield.
Yeah, definitely.
No, now. See this zone fire. This is the same zone as zone 1 now.
Oh, man. My goodness. But we have two very, very, very stubborn teams in Pochinki. The boys from Cobra and Myth again going in for, you know, the fight. And the boys from Myth this time around trying as much as possible to do quite well. But Cobra is giving it to them again as they are down to the last player. But this Myth player is still fighting it on. He's still trying. He's still trying to fight. He's now trying to heal. He's trying to heal.
He did grab the test. I'm so pained. In situations like this, I always pray for the test, right? Like, do not grab the test. But anyway, Farok does seem to be activating his JP card. I think he's probably the last player left for his team. He is the last player for his team. And he's just running away from this fight as Black Cobra. I don't think they're going to let that one happen. They're looking to find that player. They're chasing him. Farok doesn't have so much HP left. I don't think he's got too many first aid kits to go alongside it as Black Cobra looking to get closer and closer. I was going to say there's something about Pochinki boys. They never agree for each other. They would always fight tooth and nail, fight it till the end. Of the day. Spotted.
Yeah. All right, you can see Fahita trying as much as possible to take on that last guy, Farouk, from this one. And he's using 200 IQ right there, hoping that, you know, Farouk would run and jump out of this window and then he can take him down. But now he's coming in from behind as he goes in on, reduces a lot of HP. Right now. And finally, they get taken out. My goodness, what a game coming in from the boys from Cobra. Regardless, they still did lose one man in this one. So, man, these two teams, man, they're just too stubborn.
One thing I know is when it comes to the battle of Pochinki, Pochinki is not a battle that you can easily leave unless you have more than one team there with you, right? Because you can't just leave when one team's attention is on you. So, yep. It's not an option. They had to fight it out to the end. Cyclone Shield getting taken out, as you can see on your screen. I believe Cyclone Esports were like, oh, you guys did not learn from the first game. Come, let us show you how it is done. And they end up being the kings of Primorsk once again, as Cyclone Shield do lose all 4 players. Cyclone Esports getting 4 elimination points, not losing any player in that engagement. Doing this as smooth as you may like.
And then the boys from Cyclone Shield will be looking to see if they can perform a lot better in the next day. But for today, it is done for them as they get sent back into the lobby by the boys from Cyclone Esports. Twix and his boys getting on those fresh, sweet extra 4 kills as they look on to see if they can continue to perform well. But lovely stuff coming in from both teams. We love to see those early kills coming in from, you know, both Cyclone Esports and the boys from Cobra. Taking a look at this map right now, you do see the boys from Desert Flame quite comfortably around that position in Galka in that center, and several different teams like Titans and Apex alongside with Slam 4KT, BJE, Afro, Mad Knights will be looking to see if they can make their way into the zone. But look at this, it's Afro. Afro is finally putting in the work against the boys for 1 million. Wow!
And this is interesting to see. Punk with the M249, he's got more than enough bullets in the bank, but he forgets about the player just right behind him as Venom comes in, gets 2 down. That man has wiped this whole squad before and is looking to try to do that again as he takes in the shot at rotating players from Afro Esports. Afro Esports not backing down. They want this fight. They want this smoke. They want all of this trouble as it's currently a 2v2. Come on, Afro, take the fight. Take the fight. My money is on Afro Esports right now.
All right, the boys from Afro have now come into this particular region. You got Hunter and Neo now coming in to support the rest of their teammates right there. But you can see Sankey continuing to send in the shots onto that position where Neo is currently at. They're drifting, they're jumping, they're trying as much as possible.
Nice nade!
Oh, Hunter goes down, and these boys are really good at using their nade, and Sankey finishes it up. Oh, Afro not having quite a great time against the boys from 1 million.
Fun facts, this is the 3rd time in 4 games that Afro Esports is getting taken out by 1 Million Esports. Kind of sad numbers to hear, but gotta give it to 1 million. To Afro Esports. They're able to do at least take out 2 players there from the side of 1 Million Esports, making sure they're doing that one, as smoothly as possible. But looks like A9Q is in trouble. If I have A9Q right now, just rest, man. Just drop your gun, tender it for them. There is no point. Just stop. Like, just give them your bullets, bro. I feel like in situations like that, you just have to, bro, calm down. Let's talk. There's a less chaotic way to solve things. And whoa, the new buildings that we were seeing actually at Erangel. You're gonna love this though. Can we actually see these buildings a little bit? Oh no, we can. Oh, the car.
Man, amazing stuff coming in from all this team so far. I did like though what I saw from Afro initially. There was this movement from them when they took down 2 players right there from Titans, and if they had continued that on, they might, if they had gone to their teammates to provide that support quite early, they might have been able to come out with a different situation at the end. But kudos to Venom and Senke getting those eliminations. We'll see how that one plays out for them, but it's not been quite the same type of day for 1 million boys. They've had a few, should I say, situations where they've come out on top. Today, they've got some good, eliminations here and there, but they will be kicking themselves and saying, hey, you know what, we could be number 1. We could be getting the winner chicken dinner. So what's probably going wrong for us?
I think the only thing that, if I were to be in 1 million right now, the only thing I would focus on is actually getting the winner chicken dinner, right? Because today we've actually seen them do well. They started off today about over 40 points or about 30 points behind first place, right? And right now they're just about 20 points away from first place. So I think that's pretty much good numbers when it comes to catching up with the team on the top of the leaderboard. So like I said, I feel like if I'm to be 1 Million Esports right now, I'm focusing on how I can get more placement points up on the board. Probably try to get those winner chicken dinner, because that is what you need. So actually balance yourself in this game.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking to see if they can capitalize on, the great push that they've had against the boys from Afro and continue this game. But now turning our sights onto the boys from Desert Flame, who also will be looking to improve their performances right here against the boys from Titan. And you can see that Nick coming in from building and does do a lot of damage right there on that player from Titan that I cannot pronounce his name for now. I'm not gonna even try until I look closer. Help me.
Once the stone starts to come, once the stone starts to go around that Gat carrier, it becomes a whole lot of trouble, and that's what Desert Flame is figuring out quite the hard way. But being the snake in the grass. Ooh, Axer! If I shout his name a little too much, that player is gonna die. So I'm just gonna go Axer. Axer. He's able to heal up. He's able to heal. If our voice went louder than that player would have actually got knocked down.
So building quite alone with the rest of the players right there from Titan in this position. He doesn't know Axa is there. I don't think he knows, but he does spot him right now, and now can turn his sights onto Teak. I'm not sure how many players are left for Titans, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get taken down before the rest of the team can come in and provide support. Look at Flacco coming in with that support. This is exactly what the team right here from Desert Flame needs. They do need to be taking on fights like this against the boys from Titans and taking them out and continue to boost their confidence in this game.
Really? Flacco Taco coming in clutch for his team as they get 3 elimination points up onto the side of Titan. P6 will be the last player left, and Titan Gaming not quite having the best of their last 2 games, closing off the day. I would have expected them to close up on a strong foot, given that they started on a strong foot, but right now it's not looking quite nice for them. It's not looking really good, as that zone deciding not to go south like it did in the first game. It is now going up a little bit to the north, somewhere central, as we see a couple of those teams are gathering, getting closer and closer to Mount Everest. It kind of makes me wonder what is actually happening on Mount Everest that many of these teams are looking for, because we see Slime 4KT, we see Blackjack Esports, we see iMEGA Esports, and a couple of more teams also heading towards that direction. Even one round currently out here on the top of Mount Everest as they take the full-on engagement with the side of Blackjack Esports.
Man, amazing stuff coming in from all these guys. The boys from Blackjack Esports now in a huge fight right here, looking to hang on for their dear life. They're down to the last guy, and Lila's like, who was, the guy who was getting those extra kills is now pushing on right here. He does get one knock, but boom, he gets taken out by that player. I feel like he should have gone for the revive. He should have gone for the revive. But here
there's no way he could go for that revive. Slime Foxy was already pushing in from behind, and there was nothing he could do but to go for that push. But anyway, Slime Foxy, they did keep an eye on the Q feed. They know exactly what is going on. Coming in for the shots, beautiful shots coming through from Plaza, as he's able to get all the eliminations and one round get taken out early on in the game. Slime Foxy hopefully looking to have this game be that game that will probably push them up to that 100-point mark. Because right now, if you're currently in that top 5 or maybe top 3, top 5 or top 4, maybe. You want to actually close out today with, if not close to 100 points, more than 100 points up on the board, because that kind of sets you up in a good position going into tomorrow's games.
Absolutely. The boys from 3 Crowns still looking strong at this particular one, sitting down totally at the top of that leaderboard so far. They, even when they didn't get the winner with a chicken dinner, they've remained with some consistent performance, enough for them to still, just rake in some extra points right there. So we'll be curious to see how they do perform in this particular game. We turn our sights onto the boys from iMEGA, who have not been having quite a great time so far. Not so far away from the boys from Apex, who we did see come in 6th place in that Sanhok game with Blessing. And although it was in 6th place, it was so close to actually taking the winner with a chicken dinner if he took out that last guy from BJE.
I mean, this is where those, experience play does come through, right? Experience, like they say, cannot be bought. It does play in a lot of, it does give you a lot of advantage when you go into, PUBG Mobile, right? So if it were to be another player there, we know that he's definitely going to, he's definitely going to, he's definitely going to cook that nade till the end. But, seeing that he decided to go for the gun out there, just shows that, there's a couple of, experience factors come into play, some of the times. But anyway, rotations coming in through. Black Cobra, Fahita, definitely we're gonna have to look at his driver's license once again, because that is not how we want you driving on the grounds of Erangel. Anyway, everybody does seem to be heading towards the Gatska area of the map, and that is because that zone is around that northern side of the circle, as we do see engagements getting started out here on that eastern edge of the circle. Soul Esports getting started with the side of Desert Flame, as Beauty finds himself going down, and more shots still raining. Oh, here it is! Up onto the side there of Desert Flame Esports. Flacco losing a little bit of HP, as Beauty does get flushed by 21st Century.
Absolutely amazing stuff coming in from all these guys as we're now shifting all the way into that 4th zone. Desert Flame still holding things down right next to the boys from Seoul. Why are they not going for that revive on Twix? Why are they letting him bleed?
I mean, given the amount of teams that are around them right now, I don't think that is the most plausible of options for them. They've got iMEGA in the background. They have the players there from, Twix now is getting revived though, but, they had 3 Crown coming in from behind. There's Blackjack Esports in the mix, and then there's also 21st Century just around that situation. So, around this position, sorry. So, it's not the best of, it's actually one of those revives that you need to be more calm and patient about before going for it. But iMEGA Esports not going to be relaxing on the side there of 3 Crown, as they laser one more player out of that vehicle.
All right, so you can see Mons now pushing on to that position where the boys from 3 Crowns are at. He's looking to get that finish, but he's also got 1-9 in front of him. He turns his sight right there onto the boys from Seoul and sending on the shots onto their position. But he's got to be really careful, because there's a lot of teams around that region that he's deciding to push onto. And the boys from Seoul as well will be looking to see if they can grab themselves a couple of kills right there in front of them. They've got Kakaro, who is in front of them right now, and I do believe he's currently knocked down. They'll be going in for that 3rd party right there. You can see them just racing to see if they can continue to get more kills. They see Kakao right there. They steal that kill. Really juicy, adding that extra 1 point into their name. We still got 11 teams in this one.
Way.
The boys from Stowe are looking hot right here, Crowns.
And this is Sony Sports' attempt on getting closer to 90 and 100 points to close off today. Exactly what I said many of these teams needed. We do lose 3 Crown Esports, which means 1 Million Esports. Slime 4KT, they're dancing right now. They're absolutely rejoicing because they know that that means they can head into tomorrow being a little bit closer to the side of 3 Crown Esports. iMEGA Esports, though, Mon's able to find a couple of shots, but not quite able to find them to connect upon to Raul. Raul finds the flank, doesn't quite able. Does get him down, but the trade is initiated as Klasa does come in with the third party of the century. iMEGA Esports trying to hold it up on that eastern edge of the circle as Klasa from Desert Flame Esports is coming in with the third party, able to get yet another knock onto the side there of Sony Sports.
The boys from 3 Crowns not having quite a good day so far in this particular game, or not having quite a good game so far, and they get eliminated quite early. Hardly do we actually see that. We always see them, even when they don't get that winner, when they chicken dinner, find a way to, make it into, that top 5. But right now, things are not actually going their way as they got pushed by several different teams right there. And now we're down to 10 teams in this particular one. Things are looking quite open in front of all these teams. You got Titan, last player, P6, who's just next to the boys from Desert Flame, Flacco, Cisco, and the rest. I'm not sure if they're aware of his position. He might be able to cause some trouble for them, but the zone is now shifting in as we're going into that 5th zone. And right now, he is going in for it right there. He's that lone soldier, that Rambo, going in to cause trouble. He gets one. Trouble. He's taking down one player. He's got in 2. And, this is what
A free buggy. Talk about a cherry on top for P6.
Problem.
But anyway, P6 able to find a buggy with those 2 elimination points on the side of Desert Flame Esports as he finds a way into that next circle. Team Apex holding it up on that northern side, looking strong. Slime 4KT and 1 Million also on that northern edge of the circle as Sexy Fexy also looking to join in on the rest of his player. Mad Knight looking to get started with the side there of 21st Century as trouble about to go and start looming on the southern edge of the circle. A very bad position being held by 21st Century, but hopefully they might be able to stay and do a perfect defense on the fight.
You see, Miners is one of those teams that, we know what they're capable of, but they've not been able to perform as well as they can. But now they're coming up against the boys from 21st Century. Ammo Win already knows that Agate is going to take it down. It's down to just the last guy, Pharaoh, who has now sent in a nade onto that position. He's got 2 players who are pushing onto him, and his health is really low, and they managed to take him out. The boys from Mad Knights losing a player in that fight, but still coming out on top at the end of the day. It does look like they've gotten pushed again by the boys from iMEGA, as Agent 47 does get a knock onto one of their players.
Man, it's going to be trouble going on in every angle of the circle right now. Players there from Black Cobra, they have only 3 players left, but they're still looking strong with 4 eliminations. And they've got a player out there with that light machine gun called the, what's it called? MG3 actually, the MG3 light machine gun. But anyway, Slime 4KT eventually finding the side there of 1 Million as one knock does come through. And remember, the players will begin the push now onto the players there from 1 Million Esports. 1 Million do not want to die right now because they know they need to grab as many points as possible to catch up to the side there of 3 Crown Esports. But grenades being sent out into this position being held by Venom is not helping matters as Slime looking to go for the full send. Their final player is now in the mix. It's going to be Plaza coming in. Grenades being sent upstairs, and this is the question of, can Venom clutch this? We saw him clutch the players there from Afro Esports, but right now can he pull up yet another 1v4 situation as the Muddy does get sent through? Grenades following suit, not going to be able to connect. Slime 4KT holding up on that push because they know how crucial, how dangerous it must be pushing such player on the top of this building. They're trying to use the grenades to solve the problems. Couple of grenades landing. Koa almost runs into that Muddy. Does look to be able to fall back a little bit as Slime looking for that grenade. A lot of utilities being used right now for this push. Push does come through. One goes down by Venom as this man is playing it quite okay, but the third party is just too strong. Slime 4KT delaying that push a little bit as Venom still holding it up.
Oh, right there. Lovely game here coming in from Venom as he jumps down and he gets another. Oh my god, this guy, this Venom, we saw what he did. Oh, what is this? He's not just doing it against anybody, he's doing it against the boy Slime 4KT.
Man, Slime for KT looking forward to making sure this dude does not get any revive. The drop does come through, but Storm sees it and he takes him down. As 1 Million Esports, Venom very close on that squad who have not quite able to get it. So Esports, Raouf trying to dance around, but it's not enough. As that man does not know the fire dance, he does get taken out. And so Esports looking to grab that revive before it becomes too dangerous. Luciano being held up on that flank by Weiss. As the revive does look to be coming through. Shots going out. So Esports on the defense on that southern edge of the circle. What happened to the revive? Jesus.
Man, amazing stuff coming in from all these teams. Lovely spectacles at every single corner. The boys from Seoul still looking quite strong as they're getting pushed by the boys from Cobra. You can see them trying to make their move onto that position where they are at. We also see the boys from Mad Knights getting eliminated in 7 plays. The Nades going into that position where the boys from Seoul are at. They have one player who's currently been knocked. Can Cobra somehow win this particular game? The revive is currently going down. Wise is still holding that position. And
Sexy grenade.
Wise goes down to Fahita.
And Fahita not just being dangerous with that MG3, he's got grenades to go alongside it, throwing in a couple of smokes as he's waiting for that push. Black Cobra gets started with Slime 4KT on that northern edge as Slime tries to get into the circle. Actually on the south, as we see, this is a strong position, I was just about to say, and everybody seems to want a piece of it. Beautiful shots coming in through, not going to be able to connect up onto Luciano as Plaza and Koa, 2 strong fraggers left for the side of Slime 4KT, and I think Plaza just spots that snake in the grass, not quite able to take him down. Sony Sports have to grab that revive up onto 2. And man, these vehicles are absolutely bugged on our side. But hopefully it is not like that for the remaining players. A shot to be coming in through. Black Cobra being on the losing end. We're down to the final 6 teams and only 3 teams are currently in the circle, and the circle shifts to the south. You can tell that that is exactly why all of these teams want that southern position. But out of all the teams on the south, only 2 will survive. It's going to be Black Cobra surviving with 1 and Slime 4KT for surviving with only 2 players.
Man, what a time for all of these teams as the boys from Black Cobra, fought their way into that top 5 position, as well as the boys from Slime 4KT. They'll all now be looking to see how they can capitalize and finish out this game, as they have both got, a position within that zone. If they can take out they can take out Fahita from this particular game, they might just be able to get something out of this particular one. You can now see the boys from Apex now trying to rotate into that zone and look for a spot of their own. Professor trying to cause some trouble for the boys from Slime 4KT as they throw in that nade. Bless in and Kage pull up onto that position and boom.
So you don't do that. Come on, you don't do this. What is going on, Team Apex? What is this send? This is giveaway at its finest, as the machine is the last player left for the side there of Team Apex, letting the shots fly, praying and spraying into that position being held by Slime 4KT, but unfortunately not quite able to hold it up. He has to move. Koa spots that motion, he takes him out, and Slime 4KT continue with this rampage. This is madness in Erangel, but Fahita does look to be getting closer and closer to the side of Slime 4KT. Might just be a pain in the butt for them. We're down to the final 4 teams. Slime 4KT, Black Cobra, Titan Gaming, and the side there of Desert Flame Esports.
Man, looking at this one right now, we've got a 2v1v1v1 situation. There's 4 teams, but it's 1 team on every single side. It's just Slime 4KT currently sitting down with a 2-man squad, and the rest are just 1, player on each side. But you never know how this one's going to play out. If one player from Slime 4KT gets taken out, then it might just be the very end. As you can see there, Team Apex finishing this game on 5th position. They had a 3-man squad, so I was thinking that maybe, just maybe, they could inch out that game. And Slime 4KT has got to be really careful. They've got to watch all their sides as they look to take out that player, Cobra. I feel like if they can take him down, if they can take Cobra out of this game, then they have probably sealed this game through, because he's the one who has that high ground that could cause them some trouble.
I don't know, for a very weird reason, I have my money on P6 from Titan Gaming, and that's because I know he can do it, right? If he's able to take out 6 God, then I think that kind of evens things out. And look at that airdrop just dropping right in the center of the circle. Slime 4KT very bothered and concerned about Fahita's position. They know there's a player still out there on the flank angle on the outskirts, but that zone favors P6, and this is what I was saying. P6 definitely rejoicing right now. This is what all of these teams have to wait for. Plaza gets into the vehicle trying to find a position in the circle, but I think P6 might just know where he is. Plaza trying to attempt that run over, doesn't quite get it, goes for 2, not quite able to get anybody down as he gets that memo, gets that that information. Now it's going to be stopping, setting camp somewhere close by. Vehicle does go. That is giveaway on that vehicle. But there's no throwables in the backpack there, Force Plaza. So which means he has to fight it off like a man. But that LMG in the hands of P6. Two players right now in the lobby has got the MG3. That is Titans P6 and the player there, the last Fajita from Black Cobra. Shots into the back of the haystack coming through from Plaza. Not quite finding P6 yet, but this is a patience game. This is literally a patience game.
Yeah, this is one where, all those teams have got to be patient. Fajita has got to get into that zone, with that zone just drifting away from that position where Fajita is at. So Titans and Six God, are the ones who are currently sitting down in the zone quite comfortably right next to the boys from Slime 4KT. I do feel like Slime 4KT can win this one. Like I did mention, they can take out Fajita as Fajita gets taken out right now. So they can now turn their sights onto, Titan and Six God. If Koa can get to that drop without being spotted, he can use it for cover. Spot Six God, take Six God down.
But you've got to admire the trigger discipline coming through from Six God right now, because Six God, even when Plaza was doing all his road rage, Six God remained absolutely quiet. But Six God does look to have become one with that grass, as no motion is being spotted. This is zone 7 right now. We're getting that zone closing. It's only a matter of time before all of these teams do get forced. And I like the play coming through from Slime 4KT, because they're like each man for himself. Like I said, it is a patience game. First to move, first to shoot, first to misbehave. Because we know these players, if there's one thing they're very good at spotting those little pixels that are out of place. And I think this is one of P6, strong suits, because you can just see that man being as patient as possible. The next zone is going to determine who takes this game. Slime 4KT gets it, which means the players there from P6 and the 6 squad, now they have to move. But even P6 is aware, he knows he cannot move too much. I feel like each player thinks they're up against 3 other solos. But only Slime 4KT is aware that this is a 2v1v1. This is the patience game.
Man, what a time for all of these guys. As you can see, Slime 4KT just itching and, waiting for the opportunity to take out the rest of the players, because, what they're all fighting for right now, aside from the kill points, is, that sweet 15 points all the way up. It's 15, 12, and 10. So it's a matter of getting extra 5 points for who, finishes in that first positions. And that's exactly what they're doing right here. You can already see P6 just edging towards that position where 6 God he's at. He's obviously attracted to that number 6, as is looking to find a way to take him out and take him down. Maybe, just maybe, Koa might have spotted that inch.
Everybody has like an idea of where everyone is. And the only way to confirm your thoughts is by standing up to shoot. Koa confirms his. He's able to get 6 God. He's accurate on that one. P6, they know they have a fragment of an idea of where that player is, but P6, man, he's holding a devilish weapon, to say the least. And the movement is coming in through. Koa looking for that movement out of space. He spots him out. The shots come through. Slime 4KT, he take it off. Fire did not chase them.
I said it. I said it. I said it. Woo-hoo! Okay, I said it was that time, and it is. It is what it is.
Slime 4KT. I mean, what better game to win than a game where they had to snake? They're repping that snake on their logo quite well, as they're able to grab that winner chicken dinner, coupling it alongside 12 elimination points, if I'm not getting that wrong. But you've got to admire that play coming out from, like I said, it was a patience game. In games like that, you pull off every single piece of clothing. Like I said, everybody had a fragment of an idea of where every single player was. It was just a matter of, we need this zone to get as small as possible so we can start to test out our hypothesis. I mean, it is clear. P6 knew that 6 God was somewhere close to him. He did not want to take in, he didn't want to take in the shots, because if he sprays and prays, he's exposing himself to, to Plaza, right? So he decided to start getting closer and closer to 6 God. Instant 6 Gods get taken out, he's got his eyes fixated on Koa, and that man Koa doing it once again. And I know some people in the chat have something to say, but anyway, Slime 4KT Koa, second time ending up on the MVP board today. 968 damage to go alongside 8 elimination points. This man, I just cannot get enough of him, man.
And Core doing some extreme work for the team right there, as he does get 8 kills to his name as well as a 968 damage. But my goodness, what I truly want to see is what that means on the entire leaderboard for this team right here, as they've gotten themselves a whole lot of kills. They got themselves 13 kills right there, and that means 28 points right there, Crowns.
I know, right? That is a whole lot of points. 1900 damage on the dot to go alongside that one. As man, Slimefok KT, the kings of the snake, or the king of the snaking abilities, or snaking abilities, coming in clutch for the final game of the day. What a day that we've seen today. And I believe that is going to be bumping them on top of the leaderboard. But I cannot count out the fact that 1 Million Esports also did well. And bro, Venom, so close to getting that clutch. I know, seeing the way that game ended, right? I feel like if Venom, okay, well, that was still a long time ago, but still, Venom actually came so close to clutching the players there from Slime4 KT, but unfortunately for him, wasn't able to do it. Fortunately for the players there from Slime4 KT, they were able to keep up their composure and keep all 3 players or 4 players alive. But look at that, Fajita, the man that we saw from Black Cobra, ending up in the head-to-head up against Koa from Slime4 KT. Koa doing 8 eliminations, and Fajita finishing with 6 elimination points. And you can just tell that these 2 players were absolutely monstrous, right? And he had to take one of the other to take out the other, you know. It was Koa that had to stop Fajita in the run. But man, you've got to admire the push that came through from Black Cobra up onto that southern edge of the circle to take out the players there from Soul Esports.
Amazing stuff coming in from all these players. As you can see there, the boys from Slam4 KT getting 13 kills and 1,900 damage. But on the other end, you also have 12 kills right there and 2014 damage. And Team Cobra also getting 9 kills and 1,458. So a lot of these teams got above, 1,000 damage right there. 1 Million boys as well as Desert Flame. But man, look at Desert Flame getting 3 kills and that amount of damage.
And yeah, this is what happens when you have those open field finishes, right? That is exactly what happens. You get to see many of these teams having those points up on the board. Slime4 KT breaching that 100-point mark. 3 Crown Esports will be able to put 1 more point on the board as they have 127 points in total. 1 Million Esports following closely as they closed that gap to now being just 14 points the gap. And Slime4 KT also following closely. Blackjack Esports still about 30 points behind that 3rd place mark, but you just love to see that one. Blackjack Esports jumping themselves up to 4th place, and I believe that is where they started off, starting the day today. So it's nice to see them there. Team Meats jumping down a little bit to 5th position, having the same amount of points, but chicken dinner greater than as Blackjack Esports have 2 winner chicken dinners to their name. And this is what I was saying, you want to get relatively close to 100 points just to make sure that you're still in that race for that top 1 position. Titan Gaming able to jump up 2 points overall for the end of today. Soul Esports out there with in 7th place, 69 points. Gotta love that point. And I'm looking at the bottom side of the leaderboards. I just see that equal to showing that many of these teams remaining in the position that they were before going into this next game.
Yeah, but definitely we still have to give kudos to the boys in Black Cobra. We talked about them, previously not being able to, consistently perform and get those placement points, but they did this time around, and they've been able to boost themselves up into that 1st page. But other teams will be reading, the performances and be wondering, what they could have done better in this game. We know it's been very tough with all these teams like 3 Crowns, like Slime4 KT, like 1 Million boys doing absolutely well as BJE, but of course, certainly there's more to be expected from teams like Desert Flame, 21st Century, even Afro in this competition. So let's see how they do same time tomorrow. I mean, yeah,
that is exactly what I'm looking forward to seeing, right? Many of these teams are already able to close in the gap, right? 3 Crown Esports, maybe I wouldn't say they fell off today because they did start off on a good note, but it did look like going into the last 2 games, everybody was able to, actually even the last game, every other team was able to step up. So I mean, 3 Crown Esports didn't particularly do bad today, but we've just got to give the kudos to the players there from Slime4 KT and also the players there from 1 Million Esports for putting up the points on the board. Titan Esports, I cannot count them out. Black Cobra, cannot count them out. Players there from Team Mates and also the the players there from Missing the Team and Soul Esports. Actually, you cannot count them out for all the work that they put into today, pushing themselves up on that leaderboard, making sure the competition is still a competition. Teams out there on the other side of the leaderboard, I'm talking to you. You've got to step up your game. Come in tomorrow with your best of gun skills, because we are running out of days in the African Elite League Championship, brought to you by Crown Esports in partnership with Monster Energy. And with that, me and Axfire will be bidding you guys goodbye. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Be sure to tell everybody to come watch that stream, because we are in for a lot of action in the African Elite League. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you later. Stay safe.